All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back. We apologize. We had a little bit of technical difficulty here. So you may have not seen the first heat of the girls 10 and under 200 long course meters. Leonard, it appeared that Amelia Ferguson from Vortex, I heard that name before. I remember her from yesterday evening, age 9. Yeah, fantastic swim is our Heat 1 winner.
She goes a 3:46.50, and congratulations to Freya Macero. Lane 4, she finishes second with a 3:59.99. Heat 2 of 3. And with the exception, Sean, of one swimmer, all of these young competitors have swum the race at least once.
Yeah, I think the amazing thing about this evening, Leonard, like you mentioned, this is the third day of a 3-day race. Our older swimmers, 12 and under and above, for many of them, they've swam 2 times a day. So we're going to see how much they can bring to the final day, because they might be low on their gas tank there by the end of the Sunday evening.
This is a test of stamina,
Absolutely.
no doubt. And again, Sean, it's the rigor of prelims and finals.
Yep.
That's what championship season is all about, having to compete, especially the 12 and unders and the older age group swimmers.
Well, Leonard, as I mentioned earlier, again, this is our 40th anniversary. We were incorporated in March of 1983. So it's time for our very first pointless 1983 fact. Are you ready?
And Sean, you have really enriched the broadcasts this weekend with fascinating trivia from 1983, and I'm delighted to hear another fascinating fact.
Yes, I certainly hope everybody has that fact bomb that we dropped yesterday about Hidden Valley Ranch non-refrigerated ranch dressing being created that year. That still blows my mind. But this will blow your mind too. Talk about a monumental moment for women. Sally Ride made history in 1983 when she became the first American woman and third woman ever to go into space. What about that? Wow.
How about that, Sean?
Didn't they have a song after that as well? Ride, Sally, ride.
You might be right, Sean, and I'm now reminded of the song by Billy Joel. Have you heard We Didn't Start the Fire?
Oh, yeah.
And he rips through a list of historical
yes,
figures, and she's in there. And in fact, Sean, I'm embarrassed to admit I didn't recognize the name until I listened to the song and I did some research.
There you go.
Shame on me.
That's all right, Leonard. Well, Leonard, looks like we got a clear-cut leader in lane 2 here. Bringing it home on the last 50 of the 50 free of the 200 IM. Looks like that is Sophie Striegel from PPA, Pikes Peak Athletics. And what about them, Leonard? You brought this up a few times. They brought an army with them. Wow, what attendance.
They did, as a matter of fact, 127 swimmers. And we talked about George Heidinger, the head coach, and I believe, Sean, he's the founder of the club team. We were talking about him, and let's watch the finish to the race, and I'll add a little anecdote from last night. He's yet another distinguished Pittsburgher, Sean, who's leaving a thumbprint on the meat. There you go. Lane 2, first place finisher, 3:26.68. That's Sophie Striegel of Pikes Peak Aquatics. We said those Colorado Springs swimmers, Sean, they know how to burn the lungs, training at over 6,000 feet.
Yeah, they're one of the few teams we talked about it that, when they come to Fort Collins, for them, they're going down lower in altitude.
Yes. Second place finisher, lane 4, that's Harper Curtis of the Castle Rock club team. She goes a 3:29.25. Third place finisher in lane 8. That's Peyton Decker from Fast. And that young lady she was the one swimmer, Sean, without a seed time. So the fast coaches have to be really proud of her.
Absolutely. All right, so I guess if we're keeping track, that's Pittsburgh 1, Philadelphia 0 on our Pennsylvania Battle Royale.
More fascinating facts. Let's go to our fastest heat. And I see the name of Hetty Moore. She'll be in lane 2 from the talented Moore family of swimmers.
Let me tell you, Hetty's a firecracker.
Sean, one of my many mistakes last night, should have told our audience quite simply, the top seed is typically in lane 4.
Yes. As a matter of fact, we're already on the 3rd heat of the girls' event, and it's now just dawning on me that I need to announce what the age group state cut is. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, but then let's talk a little bit about what that means for our viewers who may not be aware. So the 10 and under girls, 200 IM Colorado, I want to say Colorado, age group state cut is 351.89.
Got it.
So let's talk about that, Leonard. Let's talk about this meet and how it is a building block towards the end of the season climax. But that could mean different things for different swimmers. So why don't we share a little bit about some of the different levels and what they can look forward to.
So let's talk about Ella Gase-Thiel, who stopped at the table last night to do a brief interview with us. She's for sure at the top end, Sean. She is. So the top training group with Fast, Sean, is called Arete. And in that top training group, there are only 2 swimmers who have junior nationals cuts, winners cuts, and one of them is Ella.
Yeah.
And she adds a lot of luster to this meet. So we asked her what this meet means to her last night. And she has a big meet coming up next week at the Veterans Memorial Aquatic Center in Thornton, the CSI Colorado meet. And this is her opportunity this week to get some repetitions and prepare for some of the races that are ahead of her next week in the CSI meet. And it goes to show, Sean, that even the most accomplished swimmers find a purpose in this meet.
Absolutely. And talk about purpose. Yeah, so some of our swimmers, you know, their goal is to compete at the Northern Colorado Championships. Some folks, they're targeting silver state cuts, others age group state cuts. And for some of our older swimmers, you know, they're looking at zones, they're looking at sectionals. And as you mentioned, Ella looking at higher meets like junior nationals or futures, and some of those meets that's where the Olympians are. That's where the big boys and girls are competing. So, well, Leonard, I'm pretty amazed at what do we got? Lane 4 here.
Iris Town.
Yeah, I remember that name. We mentioned her a few times yesterday from Highlands Ranch. Looks like she's going to be our unofficial winner. Just a great swim.
She is well ahead of the competition, Sean. She could do the doggy paddle into the wall and win that race. She goes a 3 flat.
Wow.
3:00.72, and she cuts time. She cuts 3 seconds from her previous swim. And no, Sean, I'm not going to say this morning. Goodness gracious. No, she didn't swim this morning.
Well, maybe she went to practice in the morning. You never know.
She congratulates the competitors around her, and you're watching something special happen in lane 4.
Yeah, we'll be looking forward to hearing more about her in the upcoming years.
The talented 9-year-old Hetty Moore in lane 2 finishes in 5th place. That's pretty impressive. A 9-year-old in the top heat, finishing with a 3:27.06, and she gets some props from the table next to us, the fast coaches.
Oh, yeah. So, Leonard, we're moving now to Heat 1 of the boys 10 and under, 200 long course meter IM. And again, for those keeping track at home, the Colorado age group state cut is 4:04.49. That is 4:04.49.
So talking about Ella, right, Sean? She told us last night that she has several winter juniors cuts, but not quite a summer junior cut. Those are typically more rigorous. But in any case, Sean, let's think about Ella. So, swimming in her home pool, well rested, selecting just a few events, swimming in her own pool in a relaxed atmosphere, swimming just a few events, not well rested, but somewhat rested. She could conceivably, someone of her talents and motivation, she could conceivably get a winter juniors cut in this meet. It's not far-fetched.
That would be amazing.
So here we are in Heat 1, the boys, 10 and under, 200 long course meter IM. 3 swimmers with no time in this event. There's already an early leader. And I stand corrected, Sean. Only 2 swimmers, lanes 3 and 4 in this event. And the young man in lane 4, that's Connor King of Pikes Peak Aquatics, has already finished 100 meters of this 200 IM, and he's rocking the breaststroke.
Yeah. Like we say, the breast is the best, right, Leonard?
You got it. At the table next to us, 8-year-old Capri Bickerton and 9-year-old Hetty Moore, having just finished that 200-meter IM, we're talking to the coaches. And we said before, Sean, that is such valuable time after a race.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's very important, and that's the great thing about swim coaching. You know, you're getting that live feedback right after you compete, so you know what you need to work on. And speaking of Hetty Moore,
now we
Leonard,
got an interview.
Turn around. Now we have an interview.
Now we got a celebrity.
All right, Hetty, we just saw that 200 IM. How did you feel?
Good.
Are you tired?
Very.
See, what's your favorite part about the 200 IM?
The fly in the backstroke.
Oh, so you like that front end. What do you dislike about the 200 IM?
Freestyle.
Whoa, freestyle. Wow. A really serious question, Hetty. We saw the balloon competition before the meet started. We saw the popsicles. What do you think about that? Was that something fun to do before a swim meet?
Yeah.
It's not something you get to do every day, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Well, Hetty, thank you very much. We look forward to your continue. Oh, one more thing. What are you having for dinner tonight?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Hetty.
Dynamite interview, and I'm sure we'll see her again in finals, Sean.
Oh, absolutely. And for listeners at home, that's a little insider joke because Hetty and I have gone back and forth on the topic of dinner before. I'll share some more information on the side, Leonard.
Yes. Sean, it appears as though Connor King in lane 4 has finished with a time of 3:56.34, and Aiden Hugerich in lane 3 is about to touch down. And again, Sean, these are swimmers who are competing in this event for the first time ever. And as you said last night, Sean, just getting through the event at this age, just getting through this event is an accomplishment.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And we can truly say that Connor is the king. It's his first time swimming it. And Leonard, he also made a state cut. So bravo to you, young gentleman.
How about that?
I think his parents owe him an extra dessert this evening.
I'm sure he'll advocate.
All right, Leonard, heat 2.
Our top seed in lane 4 is Nicholas Hassel from the Capital City Aquatics team in Wyoming.
Yeah, and for those, again, paying attention at home, it took me about, a day and a half before I realized, yes, not only do we have some Wyoming swimmers here, but they have their own state cuts. Now, I'm not
Yes.
privy to have that information this evening. I figured it might be a little bit too confusing to share. But, again, for those of you tracking at home, I'm sure the Wyoming Swimming Association or whatever it is has the state cuts, and you can check to see what those are for your son, daughter, or whoever you're cheering for here in the pool.
And we're really grateful for the swimmers who come from Cheyenne, come down from Cheyenne
Yeah, it's awesome.
to enrich our meet. Talking about Pikes Peak Aquatics, Sean, we were talking about the head coach, the talented Pittsburgher,
Yeah, there we go.
George Heidinger. And Sean, what was the last event last night at the meet? It was a 200 something.
200 fly, if I'm not mistaken, because we saw a handful of swimmers doing some really tough events, followed by that 200 fly, which is, again, I was exhausted just watching them.
Yes. So in any case, after the session ended, and if I'm not mistaken, Sean, it was nearly 4 hours in length.
Yeah, it was long.
Typically, sure, at the end of the session, the coaches pack it up and go. But there was one coach who definitely didn't pack it up, and that was George. One of his swimmers had competed in the last heat of the session and was at the wall down at this far bulkhead, and he wanted George's attention, and he got it. And George was, what do I want to say, all about communicating with this swimmer, congratulating this swimmer, and taking time at an important juncture in the meet to talk to one of his athletes. And that's just one reason why George's team has been so successful at this meet and is successful elsewhere.
I guess having that Pittsburgh connection doesn't hurt, huh?
This seems to be a recurring theme.
Well, on Pittsburgh, Leonard, like I said, I'm going to be positive today. No negativity towards the Steel City. I am going to drop another Pittsburgh fact. Did you know Pittsburgh has 446 bridges? More than Venice, Venezia, Italia. More than, we're talking Pittsburgh.
Yes,
Isn't that cool?
it is cool.
That's a great fact.
It's cool unless you're a motorist, in which case it's a nightmare. And I think all the rookie traffic engineers from Penn State, Sean, were sent out to Pittsburgh.
Oh, God. Wow. You're definitely getting me back, Leonard. All right, looks like our top, wow. He's bringing it. We got lane to 3. Is that Bo Strigel? I remember that name as well. Bo Strigel, I think he won a handful of events yesterday. Congratulations, young man. You finished first with a 3:21.78. Our unofficial winner of Heat 2.
I don't know when he last swam this event, Sean, but what are we looking at? How many seconds did he cut?
We are looking at a lot. Again,
30-some.
without our Texas Instrument calculator, I'm not going to dare attempt at doing math in the old brain, but yes, it looks like he's dropped a significant amount of time.
Yeah, I don't want to have to carry the one.
Yeah, no.
Tim Belov in lane 5 finishes second with a 3:42.27. 8-year-old from Pikes Peak Aquatics. And here we go, Sean. Final heat, top heat. Isaac Town is the top qualifier in lane 4 from Highlands Ranch.
Well, Isaac Town definitely was going to town yesterday.
He was.
Yeah.
And look out for the Grissom in lane 5. Rylan Grissom, the 10-year-old.
Ryan, not to be confused with. Oh my God! Did I literally just do it again?
What?
Rylan, not to be confused with Ryan.
You got it.
Which I thought I just corrected myself, and I continue to make that same mistake.
Sean, speaking of mistakes, last night I once again referred to PPA as Pikes Peak Athletics.
Oh.
Sean, how do I do this? And in fact, at one point in a broadcast, I was switching between athletics and aquatics.
Well, I mean, that's a. I mean, come on. I mean, those are easy to get mixed up.
My apologies to the team, and Sean, you'll correct me when I get it wrong tonight.
So wait, what is the official name? I'm confused.
It's Pikes Peak Aquatics.
Aquatics.
I believe that the team trains in a facility called Pikes Peak Athletics. It's like an athletic club.
Yeah.
But, get it right, Leonard.
Come on, Leonard.
Speaking of getting it right.
Yeah. Mr. Towns is getting it right.
He's going downtown, Sean.
Way downtown.
The backstrokers in this event have just seen him going down the middle in breaststroke. Remember what we said last night, Sean, that some of the championship meets, long course, are held outdoors.
Yeah.
And these swimmers who are accustomed to an indoor long course meters event in backstroke, when they're on their back, right, Sean, they use the ceiling as a reference point to make sure they're going down the middle of the lane. They're on their back, they're looking up. They need a reference point to make sure they go down the middle of the lane. But when they have to compete outdoors, Sean, it's another variety of swim.
Yeah.
They have to go to some other resource to make sure they're going down the middle of the lane. They don't have that reference point on the ceiling anymore. And Sean, nothing is more frustrating than swimming backstroke into the lane rope.
Yeah. Well, Leonard, I'm sorry. I swear I'm paying attention, but Mr. Town is just, again, he is going to town. Look at this. Look at the separation. This young man has a great future ahead of him.
Excuse me, he might have been.
I think it might have been those popsicles. Might have been Coach Mac's popsicles that got him moving.
He goes under 3 minutes, Sean.
Yikes.
He goes at 2:55.36.
Jeez.
Sean, this young man could be in the 11-12.
Yeah. Well, look, Leonard, we got a photo finish for third and fourth place.
Uh-oh.
They're feeling the pain.
Is that Rylan Grissom in lane 5?
Looks like Rylan just out-touched his nearest competitor
in lane
Reed Trottier, but again, excellent swim by both of those guys. Love to see them going for it at the last 15 meters of that 200 IM.
Hey, Sean, we got a Bo Striegel, and we got a Tate Striegel.
Oh, there's a lot of Striegels.
And they are both 9 years old.
Jeez.
And Tate, I believe, has finished second in this event. 3:14.60. Let's go to the girls 11-12. 200 long course meters IM. Our top qualifier is Cecilia Peterson. Once again, of course, in lane 4. And Sean, she competes with the Rocky Mountain Rapids. Now, Sean, this is yet another club team from the Colorado Springs area.
Wow.
There's so many talented club teams around the Springs, and this Rocky Mountain Rapids team trains in a variety of local high school pools.
Oh, nice.
And I believe the swimmers are outdoors occasionally for long course to train during the long course season, but the team trains at a variety of local high school pools, and the Rocky Mountain Rapids can be very proud of their swimmers this weekend.
Absolutely. So, Leonard, I think it's about time to go over our first coaches survey of the evening. Prior to this meet, we reached out to a handful of coaches and really appreciate all those who took the time to answer. So our coaching highlight this time is going to be the infamous Coach Doug Stone from our very own Fort Aqualans. See, now, aquatics, athletics, you got me all I'm just going to say fast.
And Sean, he's the meet director.
He's a man of many talents.
He's the director of this meet.
Yeah, not only that, but he coaches Challenge and Hammerhead. And we asked Coach Doug if you were not coaching swimming and could coach any other sport, what that would be. Do you want to give a guess, Leonard?
You know, Sean, I feel like I know Coach Doug really well, but I can't think of that others. I don't know. Rifle.
Competitive rifle. I love that, Leonard.
No,
it would actually be baseball.
Wow.
Yeah. He loves the strategy of the game. Thankfully, he didn't say football because I know he's a Dallas Cowboys fan, and
you're kidding.
I might not. Yeah, he's a good man. Other than that, but let's go to the next question. So we also asked if you were a swimmer, or still are a swimmer. What was your favorite and least favorite event? His least favorite was 200 breaststroke because he said he was terrible at it. I'm sure he wasn't. He's just being humble. Strangely enough, it is one of his favorite events to coach and watch now. So look at that. It's not a personal favorite to swim, but it's a personal favorite to coach. All right, Leonard, we'll get to the final answer here, but we have a nice race going on here. We got a handful of swimmers really going for it on this last 15 meters.
Yeah, and they're like flanked. They're out to the flanks here. So it looks like our first place finisher will be over.
Looks like
in lane 7.
Yeah.
That's Sophia Heidinger. We already talked about Dad, did we not, Sean?
I believe so.
Dad has to be very proud watching that race. She goes a 3:05.05. And then on the other side of the pool in lane 1, that's Emily Gilliland from the Cheyenne team. She finished the second, and we're into the A final. Our top qualifier is Addie Hobbs in lane 4 from Pikes Peak Aquatics.
Athletics or aquatics? Sorry, I'm just going to try to mess with you now.
Stay on top of me. At least I got it right.
So, Leonard, I know people, we just did a cliffhanger here. Everybody's like, yeah, it's great. They're on the finals of the girls, too. But we really want to know Coach Doug's response to this question. So, again, we're celebrating our 40th anniversary. We were incorporated back in the spring of 1983, and we asked the very important question, name a few things from that era you wish made a comeback. Tall white socks with stripes. When did they ever go out of style, Leonard? I see you with them all the time.
I think he said, you know what, Sean, the responses have been incredibly, what do I want to say, clever.
Yeah.
So I forgot about those socks. Yeah.
You forgot about them in the laundry room, or you forgot about...
I think my wife threw mine away.
Yeah, after all those years, it might have a few holes in them.
See, she never knew they'd come back again.
If you wait long enough, everything comes back, Leonard.
Sean, we're watching right now the back to breast transitions.
Yeah.
Right? And most of these younger age group swimmers, they do the traditional touch turn.
Yeah.
But when we get to the big girls and the big boys, we're going to see that crossover turn that's incredibly fast.
Yep. Or I think, as I referenced it last night, it's like the washing machine. Well, Leonard, look, we got a nice race on our hand here.
This is going to be an interesting 50 meters.
Yeah.
That are left. And again, we said last night, Sean, that the 200-meter events are considered mid-distance. They're not sprint. They're not long distance. They're somewhere in between.
Well, Leonard, it does appear that Addie Hobbs from Pikes Peak is creating some distance from herself and the other competitors. So, as of right now, it appears she'll be our unofficial winner. All right, Leonard, we're going to be shifting over to the boys, 11-12, 200-meter IM. And again, for those keeping track at home, the state cut time for the 200 IM boys, 12 and under, is 3:15:09. And our top qualifier in Heat 1, or I guess, yes, that's correct, is Brady Cooper, again, from PPA.
Sean, I'd like to talk a little bit about the impressive Pikes Peak Aquatics facility.
Was it founded in Pittsburgh?
It was moved on a flatbed. No. No, Sean, I wanted to say that all of the one remarkable dimension of the meet this weekend has been the great contributions made by all the teams.
Yeah.
Great swims from members of all the teams. There are two teams that stand out, Sean. One is Fast, which is a silver medal team. This is an award given by USA Swimming to recognize excellence among various club teams. There are 20 gold medal teams nationally, and there are 50 silver medal teams. It means that Fast ranks somewhere among the top 70 teams in the nation. That's quite a distinction.
That's impressive.
Let's pause here as in lane 4. No surprises, Sean. No surprises in this heat. Brady Cooper in lane 4, who is the top seed, is the leader after well over 100 meters. The 12-year-old from Pikes Peak Aquatics. But, Sean, I was going to say that Fast is not the only silver medal team at this meet. If you look around, you'll see the T-shirts, Pikes Peak Aquatics T-shirts, and you'll see silver medal, the emblem of the silver medal on those T-shirts. So great contributions by all the teams here. A couple of them stand out among the top 70 in the nation.
Wow. It's impressive. Wonder if we're going to get a gold or a silver medal ranking for our commentating, Leonard.
Yeah. How about the golden shaft?
Oh, yeah. Look at lane 5 bringing it on strong, Leonard.
Yeah.
Look at that little guy.
That's a familiar face.
I think I've seen that kid before.
That's Giacomo Peters, the proud father, sitting here to my right. Giacomo, well done, finishes second with a 3:15.70 in lane 1, in lane 4, finishing first. Brady Cooper of Pikes Peak. Some great swims. Here we go with our A final.
And our top qualifier, Leonard, is Nash Muller from PPA.
Sean, maybe we could talk a little bit about the Pikes Peak facility. Many of those listening to us right now have had the pleasure of visiting that facility in Colorado Springs. And in fact, Fast participates in a meet at that facility annually in November.
We travel the whole way to Pittsburgh?
What? There you go. You had me confused for a second. The proud father looks on as Giacomo gets some feedback from his Fast coach. So, Sean, we'll pause here for just a second, but let's say that if you're ever in that facility, Sean, you need to check out the PPA record board, and we'll talk about that in just a second. Sean, unlike the previous heats, this one is a tight race.
Yeah.
We said, Sean, when we commented on the 400 IM, we said that there are exciting changes in the lead changes in this race. So there are 4 disciplines in this race, as you call them, Sean, 4 disciplines. And the lead can change hands many times depending upon who is swimming his best stroke.
Yeah.
And in fact, it's often said that the breaststrokers have a great advantage in the IM. And there are three athletes in this race, Sean, who are neck and neck. It looks like, Sean, this is our tightest race so far.
Yeah, I believe we have Finn Morehouse as well. He's not too far behind, so we'll see what people have left in the tank for this final 50 of free.
Sean, if you're ever in that PPA facility, you need to check out the record board.
All right, tell me.
Now, Sean, this is no ordinary record board.
Uh-oh.
You know, like with the slats and the times and the age groups. This is something far beyond that. We'll gloss in just a second.
Do I get a chance to guess?
Yeah.
Is it like etched in marble or something?
You're on the right track.
Oh, okay.
It looks like separating here. Is that lane 4, Sean?
That is lane 4.
Nash Moeller, no surprise, is separating from the competition. Looks like he's going to go into the wall first. Let's see if he improves upon his speed time. He has a great freestyle. He goes at 2:47.55, and that's a major time drop just from this morning.
Yeah. Great race, gentlemen.
No surprises here. Lane 5 finishing second with a time of 2:48.92.
Looks like Finn came in third place there.
That's Ryder Lieberman, yes, and congratulations to Finn Morehouse. Lane 6, 2:49.11. That was our tightest race so far.
Yeah, it was an exciting race, absolutely.
And a credit to these swimmers who are congratulating each other across the lane line.
But the back at breast free, he was just chipping away at everybody.
Talk to you later, bud.
Here we go with the girls 13 and over 200 meter IM. And now, Sean, we could talk a little bit about some of the top times in CSI Colorado.
All right. Before we do that, Leonard, let me tell our audience here what we're looking at for the 14 and under girls long course meters. The Colorado age group state cut time is 2:45.89. Again, 2:45.89. B final.
Yeah. So, Sean, what do you suppose is the top time in CSI Colorado? We're talking about 13 and 14-year-old girls.
All right.
The top time in the 200 meters IM. What do you think the top time is?
All right, Leonard. Well, I'm going to use the mathematical equation that I used yesterday, in which I looked at the state cut time, and I made an educated guess below that. I am going to say... This is a tough one. Again, this is 14 and under girls, 200 IM. I am going to say 2:39.
Well, Sean, that's in the right ballpark.
Uh-oh.
Annabeth,
Sounds like I'm a tad off.
Annabeth Town. You remember that name?
Oh, yes. This town. Yep.
We called her name several times last night. I don't know whether she's participating in finals tonight. Her team, Highlands Ranch Aquatics, is here. She swam, Sean, at the end of May in the Cactus Classic. Sounds like an Arizona meet.
Yeah, I was going to say.
And she went off elevation.
Okay.
We need to explain the off elevation
I was
thing.
going to say, this might be my handicap. It might give me a few seconds back, but
She
But
went
yeah.
a 2:27.
Holy mackerel.
44, and she's the best currently in CSI Colorado. And here we go, Sean, into the breaststroke portion. And a couple of competitors, they're in neighboring lanes. They're right next to us.
Yeah, 4 and 5.
4 and 5, no surprise there. They are neck and neck in the breaststroke. Great race. Sean, would you like to elucidate the off elevation?
Oh. Leonard, I mean, the bottom line is obviously the governing body of swimming does give credit when you're at a certain elevation. It's almost like they can convert a time from a long course meter to short course. They can do the same for elevation. So I don't remember exactly what it is. The longer the event, the more time that they give you.
It's an adjustment.
Yeah, it's definitely an adjustment. So you said she did a 220. What was that again, Leonard?
She went a 227.44.
Let's see.
But there would not have been. But she was off elevation. In other words, she was not swimming
Yeah.
a mile high.
Yeah.
Here we go. Into the wall goes.
Looks like lane 4 is our unofficial winner, Leonard.
Flora Clem. Am I right, Sean?
Yes, you are
She goes
correct.
at
for fast.
256.12.
She also had a very excellent evening yesterday.
Yeah.
Did a really good job. I remember her name a handful of times.
Congratulations to Emery Mears of Pikes Peak Aquatics. She finishes second in lane 5 with a 258.58.
So, Leonard, we're talking about elevation, and we're talking about time adjustments and conversions and all that. I guess it would behoove ourselves not to talk just about the opportunity the swimmers have in this state of Colorado. You know, as you mentioned yesterday, we have the Olympic Training Center in Colorado Springs. Swimmers from all around the country, even all around the world, come to train here for high altitude training. It's a very common practice where they train in high altitude prior to a very important meet.
Yes. And in fact, Sean, you're well ahead of me because one of the talented, very talented Arete swimmers of fast, Zeke Renfrew, has been invited to join us here at the table. And he's in the top training group of fast called Arete. He recently traveled with his teammates to the Springs, to Colorado Springs, and to the Olympic Training Center. And he is going to share with us later.
Oh, okay.
He's going to share with us later when he gets the opportunity. He's been invited to join us at the table and tell us a little bit about that trip.
We definitely have to ask some name-dropping questions because I don't want to spoil it for our audience here, but I did see a few pictures that your son had with some well-recognized swimmers, not just from the United States. One gentleman in particular who is a beast.
Yes, I think I know who it is, but I could be wrong.
If the name is difficult to pronunciate, then, you know, that would be him.
I'll do my best.
Okay.
Sean?
Yeah.
Is that lane 4 well out in front? Is that Alea Sloan of Pikes Peak Aquatics?
It appears so, Leonard.
And she, Sean, is 13 years old. She's in a heat with 14-year-olds, and she is taking command. And, Sean, we love to call the name of Melina Fish in lane 5. Another 13-year-old. Do I have it right, Sean?
I believe you do, Leonard. Sorry.
They're bringing it home, Sean.
Wow.
At least Alea Sloan is. And you remember we were talking about a 227. Let's see where Alea is in the mix. A 231.40.
Fantastic time.
Not bad. That's going to put her among the tops in Colorado swimming. That time, Sean, is going to put her among the top 3 Top 3 in Colorado swimming. It's just another testament to the competition in this meet,
Yeah.
the level of competition.
So, Leonard, we're shifting over to the 15 and over B final. Our top seed in the B final is Cam Swanson.
Sean, we're going to look for that crossover turn.
All right.
Sean, I heard one of the coaches at the table next to us, one of the fast coaches, it might have been Doug, it might have been Henrik, I'm not sure, who was talking to one of the swimmers before the 2 IM, and I heard the phrase, Sean, go out fast but relaxed.
Huh.
Now, what do you, Sean, you are a former competitive swimmer. You are a talented athlete in the water, Sean, and you did the Masters thing. What do you suppose that means? Go out fast but relaxed in a 2 IM.
Well, Leonard, first off, I can never get past third gear. So I don't know if I can attest to fast, but relaxed. You know, especially when you're doing an event like the IM, it is very common for swimmers just to want to go out and just let her rip. But again, we're still talking backstroke, breaststroke, and freestyle. So I'm assuming Coach Henrik is just saying, hey, let's go at a nice tempo. Let's go hard, but relax. You don't want to take anything out too fast. A lot of these swimmers, frankly, Leonard, they don't need this clock to see where they're at. They have internal,
You're right.
They know their strokes. They're practicing this every day. They know their stroke count. They know their tempo. They know their speed. So that's just easy language for these swimmers when they're saying go fast but smooth and relax.
Cam Swanson is taking command. Sean, when I hear
Is Swanson going to deliver?
Once again, Sean, you add the levity that we need in this meet. Sean, when I think of relaxed, I think of that 50 meters of butterfly at the very beginning.
Ooh.
And
I think of pain when I think of it.
yeah, you're absolutely right. And
What is
Sean,
this? We have somebody doing push-ups next to us.
yeah, I think it's a punishment.
Jeez.
Punishment?
Or he's just, Yeah, wow.
I think Coach Doug told him, look, if you don't get to a certain time level, you got to hit the deck. No. Here we go. Let's talk about the finish of this race, and then I'll gloss what I interpret in relaxed, fast but relaxed.
Well, Cam definitely doesn't look relaxed, but she looks fast because she's taking it home this last 15 meters. She's going to come in our unofficial winner with a 3:35.83.
Right, and that's
a lot of time drop from
yeah.
prelims there, Leonard.
She was she was obviously sandbagging the prelims, Sean.
Well, let's not accuse any swimmer of doing that, Leonard. No swimmers do that. They give it their all 100% every race.
She's pumping her. No, I'm sorry. That's the swimmer in lane 5. Big smiles from Melina Fish. Am I right?
I believe so. She's pumped up too. Hey,
No.
Melina Fish.
No.
Leonard, where?
It's Molly Burton. Stay after me, Sean. This is the A final.
Yeah, A final now, Leonard. Tell us who our top qualifier is.
That's Madison Wagner of Pikes Peak Aquatics. And Sean, she's the top qualifier at 15 years of age.
Yowzers.
And she's in a heat with swimmers, some of them as old as 20. She's on a fast track. Now, Sean, relaxed. Yeah. We're watching the butterfly portion, right?
Yeah.
We're watching the 50 meters of butterfly. Now, Sean, as I understand, coaches encourage swimmers in the butterfly not to smash their hands into the water. They're supposed to float the arms over the water, not smash. It's not a grip and rip. So when I hear fast but relaxed, I'm thinking about relaxing those arms in butterfly and going out just floating them over the water. Sean, we got a good race on our hands.
Yeah, we do. This is going to be
This
interesting.
is tight right down the middle.
Oh, Lane 4, we saw that turn you were talking about, Leonard.
Yes, let's take a look at these turns, Sean. Did those two swimmers do the crossover?
I believe lane 4 did.
A huge advantage, Sean, to the swimmers who know that turn.
Yeah.
And I believe, Sean, they touched after 100 meters. They were only 22 100ths of a second separated. Am I correct?
I believe so.
Or 2/10. I'm sorry, 2/10, Sean. Get out the calculator, Sean.
We'll have to check those trifocals there, Leonard.
And Sean, this is going to be a photo finish. 35 meters to go.
Yeah, this is gonna be a fun one.
These two talented ladies are in the freestyle portion, and both of them, Sean, are over the water at the same rate. Who is going to take this race?
Looks like Madison has the slight advantage over her fellow teammate.
Nice.
Great swim, ladies.
Madison goes a 2:25.31 in lane 4, and her teammate from Pikes Peak Aquatics, Sophia Baines. Sophia Baines, Sean, her brother is one of the PPA coaches. We're going to talk about him later.
Leonard, who do you not know in this industry? All right, Leonard, we're on to the B final, the boys 13 and over, 200 meter IM.
Now, Sean, let's talk about the boys.
Yeah.
13 and 14. .200 meters IM. Now, we said that Annabeth Town owns currently the best time at a 2:27.44. What do you suppose the best time is among the 13 and 14-year-old boys in Colorado swimming? 200 IM. Meters.
All right. Wasn't done in Arizona, was it? You're not going to try to trick me with that altitude adjustment or anything like that?
No.
All right. I'm going to 225.
Sean, you are very prophetic. Luke Slankard of the Foothills swim team. I believe that's another team in or around. No, I take it back. That's one of the club teams, I believe, in the Denver area. 14-year-old with the Foothills swim team. He went a 2:20.44, and Sean, he went that time back in April. It goes to show you that the long course season does start early for some of these club teams. And Brian He is not far behind with HRA. He goes a 2:20.59. And let's hear it. Oh, Sean, let's check out the turns. These guys are doing the touch turn. Let's recognize Lincoln Hoffman of our very own Fort Collins area swim team.
Yeah.
The talented 14-year-old is third in CSI Colorado in this event, 2:21.46.
Excellent.
And that's a time from the end of May. He may have some surprises
Yeah. Great thing
in
about
the meet next week.
Like we talked about, Leonard, great thing about meets like this is, these are building blocks to their championship meets. So these are, we might see a handful of best times, but I guarantee they're not going to be the best time by the end of the season. We're going to see even more time being dropped after they've had a few meets under their belt, after they've done the rigors of training and possibly even do some tapering for their championship meet.
This is the B final. Did we say so, Sean? And there are two competitors in the water right now.
Yeah. Great job for these two young men showing up.
Looks like Jackson Bartlett in lane 4 is bringing it home. Let's see if we hear let's listen for the fast coaches.
Go! Go!
Coach beside us is encouraging this young man to kick. Kick.
Duro. Duro.
He goes to 311, 69. And right next to him in lane 5, 319.67.
All right, Leonard, on to the A final. Our top qualifier from PPA, Austin Jones. So Leonard is very astutely drawing to my attention that we only had one heat of the boys 13 and over 200 IM. We have now moved on to the, let's see, how many heats of the boys? Okay, this is the B final of the boys 15 and over 200 IM. Great recognition of that, right, Leonard? No, Leonard, you are correct. Talk about messing up. We did have a heat. We did have a B final. My apologies. This is the A final of the boys 13 and over. My apologies. The top seed in this, Danny McKinney. Sorry for those listening at home. I was thrown off by just having two swimmers in the previous heat.
And Sean, the swimmer from Highlands Ranch, Danny McKinney, is well ahead of the competition. This is a one swimmer race. He's about to go into the wall and finish the breaststroke, the 50 meters breaststroke, and he's about to bring it home with the freestyle. Let's see where this young man ranks among the top swimmers in CSI Colorado.
Leonard, why don't you tell our audience a little bit where you're getting this information? So,
yes,
folks want to check that out at home on their free time.
This comes from a site, a very reliable site called Swimming Rank, swimmingrank.com. Great site, and it's updated on a regular basis, Sean.
Cool.
He goes into the wall 236.74 in lane 4. Danny McKinney.
Let us hear a round of applause from Coach Doug for his swimmer, Ben Sams, finishing third.
There you go.
In lane 3 with a 248.90. All right, Leonard. So now time to make up for my grave mistake there a minute ago. We are officially on to the B final of the boys 15 and over. Leonard, I think it's time for me to get the hook.
Sean, if you can tolerate my aquatics snafus.
So, Leonard, for this age group, the open age group, 15 and above, the state cut time is, for long course meters, 200 IM, 231.99. So let's keep an eye out on that time. I have a feeling we're going to see quite a few people making that cut, if they haven't gotten them already.
A familiar name in lane 6 is Jaden Putman, the 16-year-old from Fast. He has a seed time of 231.88. And he's right there with the top qualifier in this heat, Austin Jones of Pikes Peak Aquatics. And Jaden is out in the lead, Sean.
Yeah, just make sure you don't do any sandbagging comments.
He's out in the lead. Now let's watch this. He does the touch turn. Let's see some of these turns here, Sean. Most of them are touch turns. Nothing wrong with that.
They just have an appreciation for the classics, Leonard.
Jaden's breaststroke looks really good. He's well out in front. Mom is standing on the opposite side of the pool. She's on the opposite deck, and she has to be very proud of this swim. The swimmer in lane 3, Sean, and I will not attempt the last name. I believe his first name is Chea from the Longmont Redtails. He's a great breaststroker, and he's capable of catching up. Jaden Putman. Sean, I was prophetic. I mentioned Jaden's name well before anything had actually happened, and he is ripping.
Gripping and ripping the last 15.
Nice. Jaden Putman with a 2:27.51, and Sean, that time would look really good in the A final.
Absolutely. Speaking of the A final, Leonard, our top qualifier. Again, this is a name we heard many times over the weekend, Bo Moss. So, Leonard, I want to test your knowledge here. Can you give the let me, I guess, ask you the question first before I clarify anything further. What does the term being mossed mean?
What's the term again, Sean?
Being mossed.
I don't know. Like M-O-S-S-E-D?
Yeah.
The past participle?
Yes. You want to take a guess?
I don't know.
Well, do you remember a certain wide receiver?
Oh, yeah,
by the name of Randy
Moss.
Moss? Well, it's pretty common in NFL circles now when a receiver jumps over the secondary and just makes the secondary look embarrassed. They call it getting mossed.
There you go. And speaking of that, Sean, I can remember when Randy Moss was playing with the Minnesota Vikings and Randall Cunningham was the quarterback.
Was that when the moon came out?
Randy Moss played on Thanksgiving Day in Dallas against the Cowboys, and corner Deion Sanders was mysteriously ill
Are you making accusations there?
for that game. He caught a
The
mysterious
new head coach of the
illness.
CEU Buffs. You know, he's only like 45 minutes down the street, Leonard. He might even be listening today. I'd watch yourself. We got a nice battle here between lane 4 and 5. Let's see if Bo can moss his opponent.
There you go. And Sean, I
Bam.
didn't finish my comments about the record board at the PPA facility.
Oh, geez. How could we forget that? All right.
Getting senile here.
So my guess was etched in marble, and you said I was close.
Yeah.
Senior moment, Leonard.
Wait a minute. Is this lane 5, Sean?
This is lane 5. Looks like Taylor Wagner is going to be our unofficial winner, followed by Bo Moss in second.
Taylor Wagner, the 18-year-old, does indeed finish first with a time of 2:17.42. Great swim, though, by Bo Moss, at 2:19.25.
All right, Leonard, before you have your third senior moment, of course, you're not a senior. Sorry, people. I promised I was going to be nice to Leonard this evening. So, the scoreboard PPA, I'm dying to know the answer to what you're talking about.
So let's go back to that distinguished Pittsburgher, George Heidinger,
Oh, God.
who's the head coach of the team. He has a degree in
Art
education.
education.
And this clever man fashioned a record board of plaques on a wall. They run the entire length, Sean, of the hallway.
Oh, that's awesome.
Anyone who visits the facility has to check. This is a perfect time to be talking about this, Sean, as the timers rotate to the other end of the pool.
Yeah.
This is a good time for my interlude. So in any case, on each plaque is a photo of the record holder, and I mean the best time ever on the team.
Oh, that's great.
All age groups are represented from 7-8 to 17-18. And there have been some really distinguished swimmers
Yeah.
to come out of that program recently. So in any case, Sean, I spoke yesterday after the meet had ended with Cade Baines. He's one of the
Oh, yeah.
PPA coaches.
Yeah.
He comes from a family of dynamite swimmers. He glossed the record board for me and added some details I wasn't aware of. But in any case, his sister Ava is in this meet. We called her name at least a few times
yeah.
last night.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And he has another sister, Sophia, whose name I believe we called earlier.
Yeah.
But Sean, talking about senior moments, I believe last night I was talking about Annabeth Town when I was talking about top times in CSI Colorado. And then stupidly I realized she was in the meet. When did we mention Sophia? Ay, Sean.
It's okay, Leonard. But while you're looking over your detailed notes, Leonard, we should take this moment to, again, thank our sponsors, because without them, this wouldn't happen, and you wouldn't have these top-notch announcers or commentators like Leonard and Sean. Associates in Family Medicine, Professional Document Solutions, Speed Pro, Assured Flow Systems, Exterior Roofing, and our favorite MI Sports. Now remember, we talked about that backstroke outside 50 meter, blaring in the sun. I forgot to mention, when you have a need, who's there for you? MI Sports. Wonderful collection of mirrored goggles, great tints. Those will protect your eyes, Leonard, during those outside meets. Trust me.
Yes, Sean, thank you for that filler. Sean, Sophia Baines is the sister of Coach Baines with Pikes Peak Aquatics. She swims with Colorado Mesa
Yeah.
in Grand Junction. And this is the 50 freestyle.
Oh, Leonard, we got 10 and under, 50 free, heat 1. This is the thing of beauty. I love when we see these young rock stars here. In lane 4, we have Wyatt Curtis, 7 years old, from The Rock. Awesome. Leonard, why don't you tell me a little bit about your strategy for freestyle? You tend to say this word all the time, and I absolutely love it.
Oh, the grip and rip.
Oh, yeah.
That's the way it looked in prelims. I was here this morning, Sean, for prelims, and I can tell you especially like the 15 and older athletes
Yeah.
in the 50 free. We'll talk about this a little bit later, Sean.
Yeah, looks like our unofficial winner is Maya Pierce from Fast, lane 2. Great swim, ladies. You know, Leonard, you also brought up an interesting fact the other day. We were talking about long course and how, especially for some of these swimmers who had never swam long course before or have very minimal experience with it, it kind of feels like being dropped in the middle of the Atlantic.
Yeah.
Now, can you imagine as a 7-year-old, it's your very first long course meet, thrown in and you're doing a 50 meter? That's what it must feel like.
Yeah, and these swimmers are accustomed to getting some relief from the walls.
Yeah. But you just love to see the tenacity. You love to see the go-get-it attitude because they just jump in and let her rip.
The first time ever, Sean, as you know, Sean, sometimes I do swim laps, not often. And on one occasion, Sean, I was swimming laps in a long course meters configuration, and I thought, Sean, I had veered off into someone else's lane. I was stroking and breathing. I thought, where is the wall? Wait a minute.
And then you realize you just went past the first flags, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Leonard, just for our audience, the Colorado age group state cut for the 50 free young girls is 42:49. So let's keep an eye out on that time.
And it looks like in lane 4, am I correct, Sean? Our winner is Kiki Gallegos.
Yes, indeed.
And she's from the Brighton Bulldogs. BB.
Nice. I think that might be our first Brighton Bulldog winner of the evening. All right, heat 3, Leonard.
Top qualifiers, Peyton Decker in lane 4 from Fast. We might hear some big cheers. I see Freya Macero is in there also. Capri Bickerton is in lane 1. 8 years old, Sean, and she's in a heat 3 with 9 and 10-year-olds. That's the talented family of Bickerton swimmers. Lane 4. No surprises, Sean. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, lane 6.
Yeah.
Lane 6, Charlotte Lacroix of Pikes Peak, the 10-year-old. She goes a 39.11. She breaks 40 seconds, Sean. This is our top heat, heat 4. We're going to see some fast times here. Our top qualifier is Cassidy Marks. Once again, lane 4.
Whitewater, Leonard. Look at that whitewater. Look at those kicks.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
We talked about the Riptide.
Yeah.
Team Riptide. Jen Koshman, I don't know if she's in the building. She would be mighty proud of her top qualifier. I see a Heidinger in lane 8, Sean.
Looks like our unofficial winner is lane 4, Leonard.
Cassidy Marks. The proud coach, Jen Koshman. She must be beaming. 34.98. She goes under 35 seconds.
Wow.
And looks like a soft touch in lane 2.
All right, Leonard, now we're on to the boys, 10 and under, 50-meter freestyle. Again, those keeping track at home, the Colorado State cut for that event is a 44.19.
3 competitors.
Yeah. So, Leonard, as part of my makeup apology tour for you this evening, I'm going to be, again, dropping a lot of positive facts about the wonderful city where you come from, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And let's talk a little bit about sports, because any old-timer like us, we know what Pittsburgh is famous for, and it's not just the Steelers. Listen to some of these names, and you know them well. Joe Montana, Danny Boy Marino,
There you go.
Joey Namath, Johnny Unitas,
Baltimore Colts.
Jim Kelly, all from Pittsburgh. It must be in the water.
Well, I believe Joe Montana, he was asked about Joe Montana. Hold on for 1 second, Sean. Here we go. Lane 5 was our top finisher. Tyler Bickert of Fast. I believe Joe Montana was asked this question one time, Sean. He was asked, why so many talented quarterbacks from Western Pennsylvania? And he gave the credit to...
Iron City Beer?
You got it.
No, are
This
you
is the
kidding me?
truth.
I thought I was going to say a really bad joke. Wow.
We gotta Google
So there
it.
is something in the Three Rivers. You know, the interesting thing, Leonard, if you think about that as well, out of all those Hall of Fame quarterbacks, not one of them played for the hometown Pittsburgh Steelers. And I remember back in the early 80s when the Steelers had an opportunity to pick Dan Marino, and they did not.
And we're going to talk about this later.
Yeah.
Once again,
Sorry if I brought up an open wound, Leonard.
you scooped me once again, Sean. This is Heat 2, Lane 5.
We're actually on to late Heat 3, Leonard.
But apologize.
That's all right. I distracted you with Pittsburgh quarterback talk. It's perfectly normal. So, well, matter of fact, we saw this yesterday, Leonard. Jacob Laborde from Wyoming. I remember he had a no time in, what was it, the 100 free or one of the, and he crushed it. And he is absolutely crushing this 50. The little broski just went 33-48.
Wow.
Leonard. Yowzers.
And our apologies, my apologies, Sean, for going off on a tangent and missing some of the results from Heat 2. But yes, Heat 3, no surprises.
Now we got a handful of really fast swimmers in this heat, Leonard. Some names that we've mentioned a lot this weekend. Rylan Grissom, Isaac Towns, Tate Striegel, Bo Striegel. That's why we're saying those Striegel names so often.
Yes.
They brought themselves a small army, huh?
You got it. And Sean, in a 50-meter race among a group of finalists, it's usually tight, right?
Buddy. Come on, focus.
It's usually tight. Lane 4,
Wow.
once again, is in first place, a 32.78. That's Isaac Town. Props to Rylan Grissom. In lane 3, he finishes second with a 35.25. I'm sure his parents are somewhere in the building, no doubt, and they are beaming. So in any case, Sean, I'm reading from an article here online in Sports Illustrated. What is it about Western Pennsylvania and quarterbacks? And Joe Montana says, Sean, you can read it right here. Maybe it's the Iron City beer.
Oh, wow.
No joke.
Go, Ava!
And to all of our young swimmers, we are not condoning the consumption of alcohol, nor are we sponsoring Iron City beer.
No.
Oh. Those girls were ready to go. They'll be given another opportunity, hopefully, to swim here. We're moving on to the girls 11 and 12 50-meter freestyle. Our B finalist, top swimmer, top time, Kestrel Pierce from Fast.
We are hitting the reset button here.
Maybe some have dropped and they haven't updated correctly.
Could be. All right, so our folks listening or watching from home, we announced Kestrel Pierce being the top time, but we're pretty sure that that is not Kestrel Pierce, so we're assuming there might have been a drop. Leonard, tell us a little bit of what happens when a swimmer needs to drop out. We have alternatives who can fill in.
Yes,
So,
scratch.
yeah, so what you might be seeing in terms of the results may not be the accurate person.
Well, it looks like
Oh, our insider, Cornell Gazzuro, had informed us that Kestrel's been bumped up to the A final. So,
how about that?
yeah, so great race, ladies. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to let you know who just won that event because the names and the heat sheets are not up to date.
So it's not Disha Verma?
It very well could have been, Leonard. I am simply not sure.
Here we go.
So again, for this A final, Leonard, Kestrel got bumped up to the A final, so it is possible that the remainder of the swimmers are still outside of lane 1, are still what they're listed as on our heat sheet.
Now the proud papa sitting next to us, Sean, he has his eyes on lane 7,
Oh.
Mireille Gazdaro.
Oh, yeah, Murray. All right, looks like our unofficial winner is lane 4.
Addie Hobbs. Mireille in lane 7 finishes 6th. Looks like the second place finisher is in lane 5. That's Haley Birkby. If as you said,
Yeah,
Sean,
if
everything
it's-
was
yeah.
shuffled logically.
All right, Leonard, looks like we're shifting over to the boys. 11 and 12, 50-meter free. B final. Our top qualifier, Ryan Gross, PPA.
Yes.
Let's go, Garrett! Yeah, Garrett!
Garrett Putman.
Yeah, looks like we might have had a scratch. Looked like our first alternative, Garrett, stepping up in lane 8. Spoke about his brother earlier. Fantastic victory in the 200 IM B final. You know, that must be difficult, Leonard. You're an alternative, or an alternative. You are not alternative, Garrett. You are an alternate, and you get called up to the blocks. You have, like, I don't know, 10 seconds to get up there, and bam, it's like, oh, I actually have to race. So that's a tough thing to do.
Maybe sometimes, Sean, when these swimmers get a chance to race without thinking too much about it
Yeah.
in advance, they do better.
Yeah. Looks like our unofficial winner is lane 5, Leonard.
32-82. If everything is according to order, and Sean, I heard this morning that's Canyon Monahem. I heard
Monahem.
this.
Uh-oh.
I heard this morning from the meet announcer Monahem.
Oh,
I'm
geez.
assuming that's correct.
Well, then we need to retract. We were definitely over the five names pronounced incorrectly, Leonard. Darn it. We were so close. All right, A final. Looks like our top qualifier, Lincoln Chandler, is not swimming. So,
That means Oscar Gomez is going
Yeah.
to be one of the ones in the lead.
yeah, we'll see.
And we said Garrett Putman entered. Oh, yes.
Yeah. All right, we got a really close one here, Leonard. We got about 5-6 young men who are all neck and neck. It looks like our unofficial winner from lane 1. That's Liam Selby, 11-year-old.
It must be.
Wow.
According to all of the shouts from the bench next to us, it has to be some fast swimmer.
Yeah.
And Sean,
Wow, that was awesome. Wow. Coaches are super happy with Liam's swim. I'm sure all the people in the A final, but Garrett getting some props. I believe he finished 4th in the B final. So
How
you
about
go
that?
from an alternate to getting up on the block and finishing 4th.
again, sometimes these swimmers do better when they, I don't know, something takes them by surprise. They're not thinking too much in advance. They just get in the water, they grip and rip.
Grip and rip. All right, Leonard, we're going to move over to girls 13 and over, 50-meter freestyle. Our B finalist, lane 4, top time, Sophia Anderson from Fast.
Now we have to do these quickly, Sean. What do you
Yeah.
think the top time in Colorado swimming? Girls 13-14, 50 meters free. What do you think the top time is?
All right, well, the state cut is 30.99, so I am going to say at 27.5, Leonard.
Sean, you're right on spot.
Are you serious?
It's a 26.86.
Ah,
Kate
darn it.
McKinnon of Aqua Wolf Swimming. But last night, Sean, we did an interview with Ella Gasethiel.
Yeah.
She goes at 27.13, and that was last year.
Wow.
Sean. I'm thinking that if she's competed in that event this year, she's the top.
We have a photo finish here, Leonard.
She's tops
Wow.
in CSI Colorado.
Lane 4 and 5 were. Looks like we at lane 3 is our unofficial winner.
Flora Clem.
Flora.
She goes at 31:24.
Looks like Sophia got second place, not far behind. Great swim, ladies. All right, now we're on our A final. Top seed, Callie Marks from RIP.
Let's see who goes under 30 seconds, Sean. Under 30 seconds. We said the standard right now is a 26:86. That is a blazing fast time.
Yeah.
Lots of white water on this one,
Oh,
Sean.
wow.
Big kicks and
I'm
grip.
seeing more white water than the Poudre River.
There you go. Big kicks
Wow.
and the grip and the rip.
Looks like lane 5, if I'm accurate, is our clear winner.
There you go. There you go, under 30 seconds, Sean. Lane 5.
It's like Gracie Jubchin from HRA. Great swim.
Highlands Ranch.
Yeah. So now we're moving over to the 15 and over B final. For those keeping track at home, the state cut for that age group is 30-29.
Wait a minute.
Top seed in the B final is Lily Larson from PPA. And the ladies were asked to step down, so looks like we might have another alternate joining the B final.
She's getting an
Yeah,
ovation.
I was going to say, geez, she's getting a lot of high fives. Everybody's happy.
Is this Melina Fish?
It should be Charlotte Camframan from The Rock.
Yeah.
No, that's the 13. I'm sorry, Leonard. That's 13 and 14 alternates. We're going to actually have to turn the page. Should be Molly Burton from PPA. But we cannot confirm or deny that that is her.
Yes.
And wow, she just went out with a great start. Jeez.
She's ready to go.
I was going to say. It's
as
like,
we-
all right, you want to put me in the A final? I'm going to bring it.
As we know from the way she walked onto the bulkhead, she walked onto the bulkhead with a swagger.
Yeah.
Our apologies to our audience. 29-25 in lane 8, Sean.
No way. She went from alternate to winner. Congratulations. That is awesome.
She was ready to go.
I think we might be onto something here now. That's two of the last 3 events when an alternate came on and either won or finished in the top 4, Leonard. Something about that theory that you just mentioned could be correct. All right, now on our A final, Leonard, a familiar name, Carolyn Bricker from PPA. And if I am not mistaken, Leonard, yesterday, well, you've been singing the accolades of PPA and their fantastic program. We talked about another one of their swimmers, Maddie Mentenko. I looked up, I don't know if it's in this official ranking, but Carolyn Brinker and Maddie Mentenko are 1 and 2 in the state of Colorado for female swimming in this age group. So
13, 14?
15 and above.
Okay, 15
Yeah.
and above.
Well, I almost thought you were going to go this
I'm sure there's some friendly competition in the pool. And looks like lane 4 is our official winner, Caroline Bricker.
She improves upon her seed time from this morning. She goes at 27:61. Congratulations to lane 3, finishing in second place with a time of 28:12. That's Mia Waldron of Team Vortex. And those freestylers from Vortex, they know how to get down the pool, Sean.
No doubt.
What do you think is the top time, Sean, among 13 and 14-year-olds, the boys in Colorado swimming? 50 meters free.
Well, the state cut is a 30.99. So I am going to go 27.25.
Real good, Sean. Close, very close. 25.65.
Leonard, I'm off today. I was much
Uh,
closer yesterday with longer events. That's weird.
That's not bad, Sean.
Oh, The photo finish, Leonard.
Wow.
Look at that. Lane 4 is our unofficial winner. Elin Tamas from Fast. Look at that. 31.69, 31.87, or 31.86 and 31.87. Wow. That is our official closest race thus far, or our unofficial closest race thus far, Leonard. All right, we're on the heat, the A final. Looks like our top qualifier is Sam Wigman Castillo.
By the way, Sean, that 2565 that we mentioned, that belongs to Joey Suderman. He's a well-known name in Colorado.
Yeah.
Swimming from the University of Denver Hilltoppers. And here we go into the wall.
Looks like Sam Wigman Castillo is our official winner.
Yes.
All right, Leonard, we're moving on to the 15 and over B final. Our top qualifier is Case Reckling from Wyoming.
Sean, so often when swimmers finish a 50-meter free, for example, even in the Olympic trials, they're spun around 180 degrees, right? They go into the wall and they're facing the other end of the pool, right?
Yeah.
At the finish. And do you know why?
Educate me, Leonard.
I don't know the physics exactly, but they're moving at such a high rate of speed. When they screw that arm into the wall, the whole torso is rotated. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They go in with such speed and they're rotating so aggressively. After they touch, they're spun around. They're looking at the other end of the pool. That's a familiar sight, for example, at the Olympic trials.
All right, Leonard, we're on to the A final. Our top qualifier, Eli Hobson, PPA.
Maybe Zeke Renfro is going to pay us a visit.
Yeah, I hope so. I'm definitely interested to hear more about his experience at the Olympic Training Center and some of those swimmers that they were hobnobbing with.
Let's see if Eli Hobson holds
I was
true
going to
to
say,
form.
no pun intended, hobnobbing, but Mr. Hobson just dominated that event with a 24:40.
That's blazing fast.
Yeah.
Second, lane 5. Second, lane 5. Second, my apologies. Lane 5, that's Alden Vieira of Team Vortex. Third, in lane 3, Ronan Watts. And as our timers rotate to the other end of the pool, as we've just finished with those 50-meter events, we can talk a little bit about the Fort Collins area swim team. The Fort Collins area swim team and the excursion to the Olympic Training Center in Colorado Springs. We mentioned earlier that Colorado Swimming is very fortunate to be the seat of USA Swimming. USA Swimming is headquartered in Colorado Springs, and it means that a lot of the top talents, swimmers, coaches in the sport, they come to this state for a variety of reasons, and they often stay here, again, not only to compete but also to train. And so recently, the top training group of FAST, which is called Arete, traveled to the Springs and to the Olympic Training Olympic Training Center. This was over the Memorial Day weekend, and these young athletes were not there for tourism. It was not a holiday for the Arete swimmers. It was instead 3 days of grueling long course meter training. 5 long course meters workouts in a row. And maybe if he remembers, Zeke Renfro, who was one of the Arete athletes who trained at the Olympic Training Center over the Memorial Day weekend, can tell us a little bit about what it was like to train there. And as my companion Sean Peters just said, as you were saying, Sean, the Arete athletes, specifically I think it was in the cafeteria, they had the opportunity to rub elbows with some of the most famous swimmers internationally.
Did you get an opportunity? Sorry, I had to do some in-depth research before our next series of events, but were we able to be joined by our...
I'm going to see if I understand correctly, he's somewhere to our right here. I'm going to see if I can sandbag him as he passes the table. And I'm glad you're here, Sean, because if he had done the interview while you were not here, I probably would have handed him a microphone. It's turned off.
Well, Leonard, it's that time. We're moving to the...
Here we go, Sean. We got 2 Arete athletes.
All right.
Guys, we want to ask you about your excursion to the Olympic Training Center.
Okay.
So in any case, you guys went there over the Memorial Day weekend, and as I understand, it was not a holiday.
Correct. Great.
So tell us about what the training was like. You guys swam 5 long course meter workouts in a row, right?
Yes, sir.
What was that like, Zeke and Jaden?
It was rough. We had a lot of practice. There was a ton of yardage. I think that's the most I've ever kicked within 5 practices. But, I mean, you're at a pool where some of the best swimmers in the world have trained, so it's definitely motivating for sure.
I think exactly like Z said. It was, best swimmers in the world have trained there. Extremely motivating. We had some great teams that were there as well with us. We got to talk with them, hang out with them a little bit. And it was just a really fun experience. The workouts were great. Coach Mike, he gave us hard ones, but they were good. They've been paying off.
So guys, tell us, if you could identify one thing, the most important thing you got out of the trip, what would that be?
I think the most important thing I learned was learning that even the best swimmers in the entire world are just like us. They have their bad days. They put in the work every day. You know, they swim those doubles. But at the end of the day, they're just human beings like us, and that's really cool to remember and help inspire you.
Yeah, they eat in the same cafeteria.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Jaden, what was the most important thing that you...
I think I totally agree with what Z said. I think it was also just really important, to really understand, and Coach Mike was stressing this the whole time, but I think it was really important for us to just, get away, train as a cohesive group. It really brought together some team bonding and just some real good work time together.
All right, guys, I just heard the name drop by UZ. Let's say that again. Who are some of these superstars, not just from the United States, but internationally, that you guys were hobnobbing with?
So we walk into the cafe first day there, and we see Reagan Smith. She's breaking world records and national records at the TYR meets, and we're all freaking out. And
What about...
We go into where the food's at, and Leon Marchand's standing there. He's a French Olympian. He's predicted to break Michael Phelps' IM records at Paris 24 next year.
You got it.
And he's arguably one of the best swimmers in the world right now, and
Yeah.
it was crazy.
He was there. I think Drew Keebler was there too. We got to swim some workouts at the same time with him, so that was really cool, just getting able to watch him swim.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen,
You guys have to
Yeah.
tell him. You guys have to tell him, I'm leading the set, buddy. Get to the end of the lane.
Exactly.
slow swimmers in the back. Well, thank you guys very much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Guys, thanks a lot.
Wow, Leonard. Well, while we were great interview, just fantastic interview. While we were doing that, our audience got to see our unofficial winner of Heat 1, girls 10 and under, 50 breast, Aubrey Dietz from FAST. Leonard, I think Coach Mike might have some lessons on press coverage or something. Those gentlemen just had great responses, and it's like they were born to speak on the microphone.
I agree with you, Sean. They just articulated themselves immediately.
Well, wait a minute. We better watch ourselves, Leonard. Here, we might get demoted. We might get taken over by some high school kids announcing the next meet.
Yeah,
All right, no more older kids interviews.
that's right. Where's Hetty Moore?
Well, we are on Heat 2 now. Heat 2 of 4, girls 10 and under 50 or 100-meter breaststroke, pardon me. And Leonard, the state cut, the time that we're looking for in the girls' 100 breast is a 2:04.89. 2:04.89. Wow, Reagan Smith, Leon Marchand.
And
They are correct. That dude, I believe I could be wrong. I believe he might have beaten Phelps's 200, or he's close to it. But like Z and Jaden said, he's very well predicted to possibly beat Phelps's IM. Again, I'm not sure if it's the 200 or the 400 or both, but those are very long-standing records. It has to be the 400, Leonard. You know why? Because I believe Ryan Lochte might still have the 200. So, I mean, can you imagine going to the cafeteria and that dude's there? I'd just pack my bags and go home. I'm not swimming with that guy. No way.
he eats hash browns the same way I do.
I love that. I mean, that's true. If you think about it, they are human. Like you said, like Z said, they have ups and downs, Leonard. Just like we've had ups and downs during our performance this weekend. This is definitely, well, maybe we've had more downs than ups. But anyway, a great perspective by those young gentlemen.
I am the poor man's Rowdy Gaines.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Arete, Leonard, I think it's time for another coach's survey because they threw out the name Mike Novell, our wonderful head coach, the head coach of Arete, our top level 15 and above swimmers. And, you know, one of the questions we asked is if he was not coaching swimming, what sport would he coach? And he said he thinks about this frequently. He'd pick basketball. He thinks it's fun to coach and really likes all the different strategies. And also basketball has some amazing athletes, as we're all well aware of.
Yes.
Hockey could be fun as well, but he knows nothing about it, which is fine. Does hockey have AM practice? That's a very good question, Mike. I would say from dropping off kids at morning practice here at Epic, I see some pipsqueaks in there
Yes.
very early in the morning. So I think that answer is yes.
Well, rink time is hard to come by. I know that Coach Mike, if I remember correctly, he's a native Michiganian.
Oh.
If he spent any time in Michigan, he should know something about ice hockey.
Yeah. Well, Leonard, that was Heat 2. Looks like our unofficial winner is Lane 3, Emma Malsby from PPA. So when Coach Mike was asked about his favorite event when he was younger, when he swam, he said easily the mile. It takes forever. Yes. Wow. Mike was a distance swimmer. All right, finally again, for those who are joining us more recently or who have kindly ignored our first two evenings, we're celebrating our 40th anniversary. We were incorporated back in the spring of 1983, and we asked Coach Mike, what are a few things from the early 80s that you wish made a comeback? Leonard, this is deep. Playing outside.
Yeah.
Well, you know, think about it. We had the answer earlier from another coach that said no cell phones. I think there's a direct correlation between no cell phones and playing outside.
You're absolutely right.
And we'll get to the rest of them after we draw attention to Heat 3, our top time, Laura Brill, 9-year-old, CAC. So, Leonard, some other things that Coach Mike indicated, the Wonder Years. You remember that lovely show?
You know, these coaches are doing such a great job of jogging my memory.
Now I just had that fleeting moment of love for, what was her name, Winnie?
I can't.
Was it Whitney or Winnie? Something like that. All right. Blockbuster. Oh, my God. The days of actually going to a store and renting a VHS or a DVD. Picking somebody up from the gate at the airport. Yeah. Those were the days. Things that he doesn't miss. This is great. Not just things that he wants, but things that he doesn't want to come back from the 80s. Smoking in restaurants.
There you go.
great one. And again, as a swimmer, as a swim parent, we are all thankful for that.
You're absolutely right, Sean. What do I want to say? Coaches have an active imagination.
Yeah.
Active imagination. These are things I would never think of, probably because I'm getting into my advanced age. It means I'm more likely to remember the stuff from the 70s, Sean. You know what I mean?
Okay. And yes, Leonard, my memory did not fail me. Danica McKellar from the Wonder Years. She played Winnie Cooper.
There you go. Looks like Sophia Macero. She's going to touch first, Sean.
Yeah.
Dad is sitting to our right. He's watching very enthusiastically. Boom. Sophia, lane 5, 2:04.96. Her companion in lane 4 finishes second, 2:05.22. That's Laurel Brill. Great looking breaststroke by Sophia.
And Leonard, we'd seen this a lot, and we've actually commented on this, but the first thing Freya did when she touched the wall is immediately look to her left and her right to see where her competition was, and once they touched, that high five came out in a flash. Again, swimmers, you love the camaraderie. It doesn't matter what team you're on. They're always so positive and supporting of each other. You don't see that in a lot of sports these days, Leonard.
Speaking of high fives, Sean, it appeared as though her father, Greg, who is elevated above the pool working the timing console, he gave her, what's it called, Sean, an air high five?
Oh, yeah.
He raised that hand, and he has to be super proud.
Well, Leonard, I think we mentioned this young lady's name yesterday, but our top-seeded time in this event is Iris Town. Again, she's going to town once again, Leonard. Look at that breaststroke.
Yes. And in fact, Sean, Cassidy Marks, Harper Curtis, Peyton Decker, Isabella Heidinger, Sophie Striegel, Hetty Moore in lane 7, Naomi Valley. They all have, they're all clustered around each other. And that's why they're in Heat 4.
Yeah.
They all put up great times. Not necessarily this morning, Sean. Don't let me say this morning.
Oh.
Goodness gracious.
Again, Leonard, somebody swam somewhere this morning.
Yeah.
It just might not be these 10 and unders. But look at that. Perfect combination of distance per stroke, tempo, and speed.
Have we
loved it. Look at it.
Boom, boom,
forget
boom,
what
boom.
I just said, tempo. She just picked up that tempo the last 15 meters. Unofficial winner, Iris Town, again, going to town.
She dropped 6 seconds, Sean, from her
Jeez.
previous swim.
Wow.
Have we seen this young lady swim the 2 IM?
I believe we did last night. I believe so.
If there's someone at this meet who can beat her in that kind of event, I don't know. I don't know the name.
I wouldn't put money on that one. All right, Leonard, well, we're going to transition to the boys. 10 and under 100-meter breaststroke. And again, for those keeping track at home, the state cut for this event, in the state of Colorado, that is 2:14.89. So let's keep that number in mind, and let's see how many of these young gentlemen will make it. We are going to have three heats. And Leonard, in this first heat, we have 3 young gentlemen who are swimming, all of the age of 9.
How about that?
That's awesome.
Sean, our audience is cringing
Uh-oh.
as I go to my ode to Western Pennsylvania. Is it okay if we do that now?
Yeah, we need like an intro to that. Ode to Western Pennsylvania. All right, Leonard, let's go.
So, Sean, you've been remembering very cleverly 1983 throughout this meet
Oh boy.
with some very clever trivia.
Did I leave out some Pittsburgh accomplishments in the sports endeavor?
You actually scooped me, Sean. I have only like peripheral facts to
okay.
offer.
All right.
So in any case, last night you very cleverly framed 1983 according to your beloved Philly sports teams.
Yeah.
And I'd like to do the same. We want to keep the focus on 1983. We just work in a few of my homies
All right.
from Western Pennsylvania. Now, Sean, let's go to the 1983 NFL Draft. And we're going to do this piecemeal.
All right.
Who was the first player taken in that draft?
Was that the draft with Marino, Kelly? Yeah, that was, wow. Well, I know it wasn't Dan Marino.
It was not.
Dan Marino, Jim Kelly. I feel like I'm missing somebody. Leonard, you've got me. I'm sorry.
When I tell you, Sean, you're going to be amazed. Think Denver Broncos.
Oh, for real?
Who?
Oh my God, I'm having a brain fart here.
Stanford University.
Oh,
John
Johnny Elway.
John Elway.
Dear Lord.
Let's
Well, remember, I'm an Eagles fan, so really,
me-
the Denver Broncos.
We'll come back to this
Yeah,
later.
we'll come back to that. Well, Leonard, looks like our unofficial winner is lane 3. Moose. Is that correct? Moose McKillen. McMillan.
McMillan.
Moose. I love it. We have a fish and a moose.
This young man had no time in this event.
Yeah, for real.
A 9-year-old, he goes at 2:13.13.
Fantastic young gentleman.
He is rotated looking at his competition. Great swims by all of these
Yeah.
youngsters, all of them 9 years old, and I can hear Coach Doug. You know the booming. Yeah. I don't know where he is, but it's booming.
All right, Leonard, I'm ready for some more wonders of Pittsburgh. But first, Heat 2.
Our top qualifier is in lane 4. That's Hudson Rose. And unless I'm mistaken, he's from Capital City Aquatics.
You are correct.
Let's check that out.
One of our many Wyoming swimmers.
Or wait, no, he's from
not
he's from the CAC Stingrays.
My apologies.
I hope I haven't been messing that. What a way to go out, Sean.
No,
I hope I haven't been messing that up. Our apologies to the Stingrays swim team, CAC Colorado. 13 athletes in this event, and I apologize if I've been messing that up.
Well, Leonard, it is okay because every rose has a storm.
Yeah. So John Elway was the very first player taken in the draft.
He accomplished quite a bit.
He did. Now, there were 6 quarterbacks in 1983 taken in that first round. One of those 6 was none other than Danny Marino,
Yep.
who was drafted by the Miami Dolphins. Where was he drafted among those 6 quarterbacks? So Elway went first. Where was he among the...
Well, I know Jim Kelly was ahead of him, and I believe another at least quarterback. I believe he might have been the 5th one taken in the middle teens. Is that correct?
Sean, believe it or not, Danny Marino, who's a Hall of Famer, he's a Hall of Famer, and he probably still holds some passing records, I would imagine.
He did until not too long ago.
Okay.
Yeah, Tom Brady, fortunately or unfortunately, pretty much takes the cake for
Our biases are coming out.
Well, it looks like our unofficial winner in lane 2, Leonard. Is that lane 2? Yes. Graham Harwood.
Of Fast.
Fast. Awesome, Graham.
The coaches love it at the table next to us.
Yeah, he's getting a handful of cheers. And All right, we're moving on to Heat 3, Leonard. Our final heat here.
Mikey Green finished second, lane 6.
Ryland, lane 3 is going for a 50 cut.
Okay.
Just in case.
Thank you, Coach. Coach, thinking about our broadcasting, said that Ryland Grissom, right,
Yeah.
in lane 3 is going for a state cut. 44.19.
Wow.
That's a state cut, obviously.
Yeah.
He's looking good. He is looking really good. I like the stroke rate. This looks like a man who wants to swim at states.
Yeah.
He's in lane 3. He appears to be in the lead, Sean.
Yeah. So I said his name incorrectly about 40 times so far, and I'm embarrassed because I know him and I know his parents. So right now I'm going to make up for this. Ryland Grissom is in the lead.
What's going on with the scoreboard, Sean? Am I missing something?
I'm not quite sure, Leonard.
That was a zone cut he's going for.
Oh,
Oh,
zones cut.
Yes, Coach Mack updates us with what he is gunning for. And we unfortunately do not have the zones cut.
Oh, yeah. What am I thinking,
Yeah.
Sean?
We have the state cuts, and it looks like right now lane 5 has a slight lead.
Once again, Sean. Leonard getting confused. Photo
Whoa!
finish, Sean. Photo finish here. This is going right down to the wire. Whoa! The winner in lane 4 touches with a 138.73, and his neighbor in lane 5 a 139.03. Sean, they're just separated by.
And Ryland, 140.99. Great swim, guys. Wow, they all went for it. So that unofficial winner was Bo Striegel. Again, we said his name a handful of times this evening.
Yes.
And yesterday as well.
Congratulations
Great swim,
to.
Wow, one of the older Pikes Peak swimmers. Good job, Bo. Yeah, somebody's pumped up.
Ryland in lane 3 finishes third, 140.99. That's also a great time.
All right, Leonard, we're moving over to the girls, 12 and under. 100-meter breaststroke. The time to look out for in this age group. Let's see what we got here, a 140.09. That is the Colorado State cut.
Can we go back to Danny Marino, Sean?
Yeah, I'd rather talk about Dan Marino than Tom Brady, so let's do it.
1983.
Yeah.
There were 6 quarterbacks drafted in the first round, and Sean, he was taken 6th.
Oh, wow. I was close. I think I said fifth. Yeah, obviously a few people screwed up.
Yes.
Well, I think we can safely say that the Broncos did not screw. Matter of fact, wasn't John Elway drafted by somebody else?
The Baltimore
yeah,
Colts.
and he, I guess, finagled his way to Denver. And Jim Kelly obviously had a fantastic career with the Bills. But yeah, you got to tell me who was fourth and fifth, because
I don't know what some of those teams were thinking between 2 and 5. But in any case, Sean, he's a Hall of Famer, Danny Marino. Where did
yeah.
he go? Where did he play college football?
Pitt.
He played
Yeah,
at
he stayed
Pitt.
local at Pitt. And, yeah.
And Sean, he's a real Pittsburgher, not
Yeah.
the suburbs or some far-flung county in western Pennsylvania. He was raised in the Oakland section of Pittsburgh, just a few miles from Pitt Stadium.
Wow.
Event 57, Heat 1. This is once again.
Oh, Leonard, look
100
at this.
breaststroke.
Lane 3. Making a strong push here at the end.
Another photo finish.
Shea Christensen. She appears to be our unofficial winner. Great swim.
Big cheers from the table next to us. The fast coaches are calling her Sunday Night Shay. She finishes first with a 1:42.34, followed closely behind in lane 1 with a time of 1:43.40. That's Tegan Martos. Heat 2.
Yeah. So Leonard, again, this is our third time doing this weekend, and this is the Sean Apology Tour for you in Pittsburgh, talking about great NFL players and quarterbacks that came from Pittsburgh. Let's talk about your own Woodlands High. And
Woodland Hills High School.
Woodland Hills.
It's okay.
High.
It's okay.
You mentioned Karen LaFace, the Olympian diver who you hobnobbed with back in the
Yes.
halls.
Rode the same bus.
We also have Hall of Famer defensive end Jason Taylor, also with the Miami Dolphins. Miles Sanders from Penn State University. And my Philadelphia Eagles up until this year. And Rob Gronkowski. Gronk.
How about that?
All from your school.
All from the same high school. Can you believe that, Sean?
It's amazing, Leonard. I guess the question is, well, no, I'm not. No, I'm going to stay positive. I was just going to make a bad joke, kind of bust your bubble a little bit, but I won't.
I know where you were going,
Yeah,
Sean.
you
Let's
know
call,
where I'm
let's
behaving.
call the finish here, Sean.
Yes.
Is that lane 5?
It appears so. Lane 5. Is that Adeline DeLay from CCA? Well,
Capital
Leonard, yeah.
City Aquatics, a 1:31.60, and she is followed in lane 3 at a time of 1:33.01.
Okay, Leonard, you're going to have to help me out. CCA and CAC, what are they standing for? I'm getting these teams mixed up here. One is from Wyoming and one is from Colorado.
CCA is Capital City Aquatics, and I've been messing this up, Sean.
Perfectly fine, Leonard.
I keep here.
Well, one thing you're not messing up, Leonard, we're on the right event and we're on the right heat. So this is the B final, the boys 11 and 1200 meter breaststroke. Our top qualifier is Cap Ball from PPA.
Sean, CCA is Capital City Athletics in Wyoming.
Oh, okay.
CAC is a Colorado club team. The CAC Stingrays swim team.
Got it.
And I've been between the athletics and the aquatics, Sean. I'm totally confused.
It's okay, Leonard. 100 breast state cut for this age group is 143.89. Let's keep an eye out on that.
How about that Drew Bickerton in lane 1?
From the infamous Bickerton family. I stole your thunder, sorry.
Yes, the talented
Excuse me.
Bickerton
Infamous,
family
talented.
of swimmers.
Looks like right now, Leonard, lane 5 is in the lead. That would be Brady Cooper from PPA. Let's see if he can hold on.
Yes. And Drew, as an 11-year-old, is hanging with those 12-year-olds. Is that lane 5 in the lead, Sean?
I believe so, Leonard.
That's Brady Cooper of Pikes Peak Aquatics. Pikes Peak goes at least 1-2 in this event, Sean. In lane 6, finishing second with a time of 1:44.80.
All right,
That's
Leonard.
Wildon Amadou.
Yeah. We're on to the A final. Our top qualifier is Ryder Lieberman.
And Sean, remind we're back to 1983, right, Sean?
Yes.
That's the theme during this meet. There was another Western Pennsylvania quarterback drafted in that first round. You told us already, Sean, who it was. Who was that?
Oh, the Jim Kelly, yeah.
Jim Kelly, who was drafted by the Buffalo Bills. I don't know how the Steelers missed 2 quarterbacks in their backyard.
Yeah.
And Jim Kelly, Sean, was born in Pittsburgh. He was raised outside the city. He played high school football outside the city. But how about that 1-2 punch?
Wow. Legends of the game. I think we need to solicit some financial money from the city of Pittsburgh for all the Pittsburgh name dropping we're doing here, Leonard.
Trust me, Sean, the city is out of money. As I know from my parking tickets.
All right, Leonard, looks like our lead right now in lane 4. Ryder Lieberman.
From the Rocky Mountain Rapids, another Colorado Springs swim team.
Yeah.
Boom. 128 flat. Finishing second in lane 5 with a time of 1:30.10.
Great swim, young gentleman.
That's Nash Moeller.
Yeah. All right, Leonard, we're on to the girls 13 and over 100-meter breaststroke. B final, our top qualifier is Nizelle. Oh, boy. This is a tough one. So, apologies. Ayakaza. Leonard, help me out.
Nzel Ayakasik.
There we go.
Sorry,
better
my
with the-
apologies to the
yeah.
family.
Well, he did much better than I did.
Now, Sean,
Yeah.
what's that state cut?
State cut for the girls, 13 and over, Leonard. I'll have that for you in a second. Or that would be 14 and under, to be precise, is a 127.39. 127.39.
So, Sean, let's talk about the top time in Colorado swimming in this event. 13 and 14-year-old girls, long course meters, 100 breast. What do you think that top time is, Sean?
I've been pretty off this evening, Leonard. I've not been impressed with my guessing ability. Let's see. We just said that state cut is a 127.39. 127.39. I hope this isn't a trick question, Leonard.
It is off elevation. It's an
Okay.
Arizona time.
Oh, geez. No, well, if it's on elevation or off elevation, I'm gonna say a 119.
Nzel Ayakasik in lane 4, she touches first. Wow, 133.51. That's a time that would have looked good in any heat. Finishing second in lane 7 with a time of 138.48. That's Megan Grenzenbach.
And our winner again from Wyoming. Great swim. She's going to have a nice smile on her face on the way home this evening. All right, we are now on our A final. Leonard, our top qualifier, Bria Jones from PPA.
Sean, we're calling the name once again of Annabeth Town. Do you remember that name from Highlands
yeah.
Ranch Aquatics?
Yes, indeed.
What was your
What did
Yes.
I think I said a 119?
You're close, Sean. She went at 1:16.51. It looks like it's a time from an Arizona meet. That was at the end of May. That is fast.
That is very fast. Well, Leonard, with the adjustment in elevation, I'm calling that a 119, an unofficial adjustment in elevation, so I nailed it.
Sean, last night, sitting next to us at the fast coaches table was Coach Ann Richmond. You remember that?
Oh, yeah.
And her daughter, Abby Lemkuehler, has the number 4 time
Wow.
in the state. She goes a 1:19.86.
Dang.
And that's a time
Leonard,
from...
we might have a photo finish here.
Wow! 2 swimmers digging for the wall here. This is going to be extremely close, Sean.
Oh.
Lane 4 wins, 123.72, followed in lane 5. No surprise. 124.23.
All right, Leonard, B final, the girls 15 and over. 100-meter breaststroke. Our top qualifier, Kaylee Hood, another Wyoming swimmer.
And Sean, that was Bria Jones 1 and Lily Zhang 2. Am I correct?
I believe so.
Did you mention Kaylee Hood, Sean? 15-year-old?
That's what I wanted to get. I was hoping to get 5th place.
Almost a step from getting below.
I was a little tired on my arms at the end, but it's okay. Dude, when I was going, I was 16 and I was like, I gotta get top 5, and I got it. Woo, I'm happy.
So, Leonard, as we advance in age groups, we talked about both of us being a fan of breaststroke. And remember, we also had a nice discussion about some of the rule changes that have occurred over the years in swimming. Now, Leonard, do you remember anything about the Athens Olympics? I believe it was 2000 and, was it 4? Yeah, 2004.
I do not.
Oh, okay. Well, looks like our unofficial winner, lane 4, Kaylee Hood, again, from Wyoming. So, Leonard, it was a little bit controversial. One of the greatest breaststroke. Well, actually, before I state this, remember we talked about the advances in speed in the breaststroke. Well, the first male swimmer to ever go under 59 was a gentleman from Japan named Kitajima. That dude was a burner.
And we're talking about short course yards.
We're talking about long course
Oh,
meters.
wow.
We're talking about the Olympics in Athens, 2004. There was a little bit of a controversy in that event because Kitajima, when he pushed off the wall, did a little undulation. At that time, that was technically illegal. Now it's a staple. You know what I'm talking about, Leonard?
Yes.
So in 2005, FINA allowed the single dolphin kick during the breaststroke pullout. Now, at first, it started as long as your hands, let me make sure I read this correctly, as long as it happened after the hands had separated. In 2014, they amended the rule to allow the single dolphin kick anytime before the first breaststroke kick.
I believe, Sean, I could be mistaken, but I believe that a lot of swimmers, at least age group swimmers, they sneak that dolphin kick in before they pull down.
Yes.
And it makes sense, right?
Yeah, exactly.
They give themselves a thrust with that dolphin kick.
Lane
and then
6. Sorry, Leonard. Didn't
open
mean
the
to cut you
skull.
off. Yeah. Looks like McCready Jackson. Another. Leonard, is there something going on with that? Just like the water in Pittsburgh or the beer in Pittsburgh producing some amazing quarterbacks, there must be something in the rivers up there. We just had 3 winners
We're going
from Wyoming for breaststroke.
We're going wild for Wyoming.
Yeah.
They got the elevation to their advantage. Sean, I do not want to predict the winner in this race. This is one race in which I really don't want to predict the winner.
Leonard, I think you just need to go out on a limb. So our sole swimmer for this B final is Cole Peterson. Now, Leonard, is there anything that you're observing from Cole's swim?
Well, Sean,
This is not a trick question, Leonard. It is not a trick question.
13-year-old from the Rocky Mountain Rapids. It's not a trick question. Is
No.
there anything? Are you thinking something, Sean?
Well, what I'm thinking is, yesterday we talked about how sometimes these swimmers just need to focus on their race and not focus on what's going around them. And I have to say, Cole is doing a fantastic job. He could have easily just looked around and been like, I don't have any competitors. I'm just going to go through the motions. He clearly is not. The blinders are on. He's racing as if there's 10 people ahead of him.
Right. And Sean, sometimes there's a disadvantage from that bow wave, right?
Yeah.
When there are swimmers ahead of you in like neighboring lanes, that bow wave that they create, that's created by the swimmers in front of you, it sometimes disrupts your stroke.
Yeah.
So he has no bow wave to worry about. He's just cruising into the wall.
Look at that time.
Yeah.
1:34.21. Leonard, he dropped 9 seconds. 9 seconds. All by himself. Impressive.
That time would have looked good in the A final, Sean.
Absolutely. Speaking of finals, 13 and over male, 100-meter breaststroke, Danny McKinney from HRA is our top qualifier.
Sean, shame on me. I didn't ask about the boys. Did we talk about the boys? 13 and 14, one breast? Shame on me.
Well, Leonard, there's just so much information that you can share to swimming.
What are you thinking that is?
Oh, boy. Why don't this one we just state the time?
Yeah,
I don't even
seriously.
want to guess.
Brian He of
Oh.
Highlands Ranch Aquatics. His team is here this week.
Yeah.
He
He-
goes
he-
a 109.42. That again is an Arizona time, it appears. But I see on the list here, Sean, Eler Huang from Pikes Peak Athletics, also a 14-year-old. He goes a 115.53. He's fifth in the state.
Well, it looks like Danny McKinney just did a, what is that, a 115.55.
Sean, he's in the top 10 with that swim.
Oh, absolutely.
Goes
All right,
to-
yeah. Leonard, we're transitioning, I believe, to the 15 and over boys B final top time. Our very own Jaden Putnam, lane 4. And we have Zakiah Renfro as well. Both of those young gentlemen were kind enough to participate in an interview earlier and give us a lot of awesome information about their experience at the Colorado Olympics Training Center.
Yes, and his companion, Jaden Putman, is also in this race. He's the top seed, right, Sean?
Yes, Leonard. Well, we got a race on our hands here, Leonard. Looks like Jaden has the lead and is probably
This
going to
is
come
a
away with the
tight
win.
fit.
But yeah, great. Nice. 118.47.
Another winner for Jaden Putman. He goes a 118.47, much to the delight of Coach Doug. Lane 5 is second. Austin Jones. Sean, if we get to talk to any of the Longmont coaches, we have to ask how this young man's last name is pronounced.
Yeah.
But he had Chea is his first name, if I understand correctly. He's a 16-year-old from the Longmont Red Tails. He had a great. I saw his prelim, Sean, a 1:12.58. He had a great swim, and so did Matthew Campbell of Fast. Two 16-year-olds. Matthew won a 1:14.31. These are two outstanding times. Let's see where they duke it out. This might be another photo finish, Sean, judging from the open turns at the other end of the pool, and Matthew Campbell was pouring it on. Sean, this is going to be a photo finish.
Yeah, we got a great race on our hands here.
These guys are digging. Look at Matthew Campbell. Fast coaches would love to see him go in there for the Sean. This is going right down to the wire. It looks like Matthew Campbell was gathering the momentum. Wow!
Wow, great race.
A 1:11.80.
And again, look at those two. Our top two finishers, high-fiving, laughing, smiling. Competitors during the race, friends after.
That's the kind of camaraderie we like to see at the June Bonanza, Sean.
You got it.
The June Bonanza. These guys are gassed.
I wonder why. Well, Leonard, we're transitioning now to the 50-meter backstroke, so like to take this opportunity to just do some special thanks to all the volunteers who made this meet happen. It's way too many to mention here. But we definitely want to give a special thanks to the man behind the mission. Sitting to my right, Cornell Gazzuro. He is the mastermind, along with Jeremy Thornton, another parent who is not here today, but I am sure he's watching and very proud of our skills as well, Leonard. But they are the masterminds of this wonderful production that you are watching from the comfort of your home today.
Will our audience be nauseated if I repeat the phrase one more time, Sean? The envy of Colorado swimming. Our live feed is the envy of Colorado swimming. And without speaking about other clubs and other club teams, let's just say that this is the standard right here.
The gold standard?
Yeah.
All right.
And with the exception of Rincuso behind the microphone, it's like
yeah. Yeah. Coach Doug he's jacked up. All right, Leonard. We're getting to the end of the meet here, Leonard. I got to make sure I state all my 1983 fun facts here. We talked about Hidden Valley Ranch creating non-refrigerated ranch in 1983. Well, there's a handful of other amazing items that got their start in 1983. Chicken McNuggets. The Choco Taco.
Yeah.
Hot Pockets. Nerds Candy.
You're kidding.
And this one seems a little out of place because all of those were food, but Axe Body Spray. Yeah. Chicken Nuggets. Nerds. Hot Pockets.
How did we live without chicken nuggets, Sean?
I don't know. All right, Leonard, we're on the 50-meter backstroke. Girls 10 and under. The time that we're going to be looking for is 49:69.
And once again, our timers have rotated to the other end of the pool.
They're getting their steps in this evening.
And these sprints mean that our audience doesn't have to sit through my senile footnotes.
Yeah. All right, Leonard. Looks like our unofficial winner was lane 4. Maverick Lieberman. Great job, Maverick. All right, we're on heat 2, Leonard. Hey, Leonard, I'm just going to get this out of the way. The last fun fact of 1983 that I had. The Police. I'm not talking about the Po-Po. I'm talking about the band.
Yes.
Police with Sting. It was the 5th and final studio album. It was the band's most successful release. You want to take a guess as to what song was on that album?
Every breath you take.
Every breath you...
Am I correct?
You nailed it, Leonard. All right. All right, looks like our unofficial winner, Leonard. Was that lane 4? Yeah, I believe lane 4, correct? Macy Constantino from Vortex. All right, heat 3's up, Leonard. All right, Leonard. I'm trying to cram all this information in at the last second because these coaches did take time to fill out these surveys, but I apologize. I'm just going to go through these a little bit quickly. So
Yeah, and I apologize, Sean, for spacing out.
Yeah, we had way too many Pittsburgh references, but oh well. It is what it is. So Brighton Bullfrogs. Coach Heidi Shaw. She's all groups and ages. And when we asked that swimming question, what sport would she coach if it wasn't swimming? And she says she's not very good at, nor does she really know anything about other sports. I would coach the Quiz Bowl team. I love random trivia. Well, she must be a huge fan of our production here, because
Sean,
we gave her a lot of pointless trivia.
She needs to listen to your live feed.
Yeah, really. All right, Leonard, our unofficial winner. That was seed 3, correct?
Yes.
Adelaide Gall. Heat 4. All right. When we asked Coach Shaw about what her favorite event or least favorite event was if she was a swimmer, she said anything breaststroke. Physically, breaststroke is the easiest stroke, but technically it's the hardest. My favorite events are and have always been butterfly. Physically, fly is the hardest stroke, and because of it, very difficult and few people swimming it. Just finishing the race can get you a top 10 finish, usually because there's only 10 people in event.
Wow, there are some great insights.
Exactly. That's a really good strategy. So she might have just exposed herself and her strategy for the team. So watch out for those Brighton Bullfrog butterflyers coming to a pool near you.
Fast but relaxed. You remember that, Sean?
Oh, yeah.
Sean, as long as we're about to watch the 2 back, we're watching now the 1 back. Sean, I asked, so last night, Sean, we were talking about the backstroke finish.
Yeah.
And I messed it up.
It's okay, Leonard.
I messed up the rules.
Well, let me first, Leonard, if it's okay. I believe the winner of Heat 4 was Charlotte Lacroix from PPA. Great job. All right, Leonard, go ahead. We will accept your apology.
So in any case, Sean, I asked 2 separate officials at our meet today. Before this session, I asked them to elucidate the rules surrounding the backstroke finish. And now, Sean, I'm even more confused than I was last night. Let me see if I get it right. Hold on for a second. Let's watch these boys.
10 and under boys state cut. What we're targeting for these young gentlemen would be 52.09. All right, Leonard, give it your best effort.
So in any case, if I understand correctly, Sean, at one time previously, swimmers on the backstroke finish, again, they like to submerge themselves with that one hand high as they touch the wall. According to the previous rule, some part of the body, usually the toes, had to break the surface of the water as they touched.
Yes, I believe if you were, as you're submerging after the flags, there's a part that had to be above the water, and the swimmers would often kick their foot up in the air to ensure that they did not disqualify. You are correct. That's the first part, Leonard.
Now,
Let's see who finishes first here. Looks like we have, what is that? Lane 4.
Maverick.
Yeah, Maverick.
Lieberman. He goes to 50.88.
I believe that's another victory for Maverick.
Yes, and that's an improvement upon his seed time, and I'm not going to say this morning.
It's
Sean.
okay. All right, Leonard. Now, part 2. We both learned, so you are way too hard on yourself. So the rules have since changed.
Now, Sean, if I may interrupt, if I understand correctly, it was okay to completely submerge, but upon touching the wall.
Yes,
So, and that was the problem, I think, for the referees, right?
I believe so.
It was difficult for them to figure out whether the toe came up at the finish or just before the finish. Am I correct?
Yes, I believe that's how it was explained to us.
And that's the reason why the rule had to be changed. Let's give some credit to these swimmers in this heat 2, and then we'll continue the conversation.
All right. Battle between 4 and 8.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. We might have had a soft touch there. But, yeah, lane 8. Looks like the victor is from lane 8. So that was a second heat. So that was
Connor King.
Connor King. Once again, the king. All right, we're on the final heat of the boys' 50-meter backstroke. And Isaactown, we've said that name a handful of times, is our top qualifier.
So in any case, Sean, I asked John Walgast, who's one of our meet referees.
Yeah, son was a fantastic, or still is a fantastic swimmer.
Yes,
Yeah,
he's at
Johnny.
Colorado Mesa.
Yeah.
Johnny Walgast. So in any case, I asked him to explain the current rule. And if I understand correctly, Sean, it's still possible to finish submerged, and upon touching the wall, it's okay to break the surface with a body part. Am I correct?
Correct. What's the final part of that?
Under 40 seconds, Sean. Lane 4,
Yeah.
39.14.
Isaac went to town once again.
Yes.
What a backstroke with that young
Lane
man.
5, second place finish, 42.84. That's Tate Striegel.
Yeah.
Pikes Peak Aquatics, and congratulations to Highlands Ranch.
So you can be fully submerged now, and it is possible for a body part to be above the water, but it is not required, correct? That was the change. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Okay.
If I understand correctly, Sean, once the head passes the flags, right?
Yeah.
And the head is out front in backstroke.
Yeah.
Once-
it should be, hopefully.
Yes.
Maybe not when Leonard's swimming.
Yeah,
but-
exactly. Once the head passes the flag, the swimmer can fully submerge
Yeah,
and just dolphin kick into the wall.
that was the first time I heard of that. That's interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing if, well, I don't think we're going to be seeing that this evening, but it'll be interesting to see if we'll start seeing swimmers actually adopt that. I've never seen that before.
Did I actually get it right, Sean?
But that is how I perceived it to be, Leonard, so I think you are correct. Looks like lane 4 is our unofficial winner. Who was that? Tatum Winslow?
Yes.
All
Our
right.
apologies. Girls 11-12.
Yeah. So the cut we're
50
looking
long course
the
meter
cut we're
backstroke.
looking for, Leonard, in the 50 back for this age group, the girls, is 39.49.
So, Sean, if I understood, and again, we're talking about backstroke and the backstroke finish. If I understood John Walgast correctly, he was saying that he thinks that right now not many swimmers are taking advantage of this new rule, but he said that he anticipates a day when a lot of backstrokers are going to finish that way.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. I'm very curious to see how that strategy will be adopted, if it's adopted. Well, I guess it's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when. Great finish there. Looks like our winner, and we've mentioned her name before.
Sydney
It is
Tuttle.
not Sydney Turtle. It is Sydney Tuttle. Congratulations, Sydney. I think she's had a great meet.
Yes, and she improves upon her seed time from this morning. She goes 35.94. She's followed in lane 5 with a 36.14.
By our very own Aubrey Hill.
Yes, and we heard the shout-outs from the table next to us.
They were pumped. All right, Leonard, we're moving over to the boys 11 and 12, 50-meter backstroke. Our top qualifier in the B final is Quentin Spencer from PPA. So the boys, what we're looking for, Leonard, state cut for the 50 back is 41.29.
I need to do a better job of getting less no times.
And Sean, are we looking for an interview?
Oh, we have one coming up very soon, Leonard. Let's go over this first.
I was out there looking for you, and you were all the way down by your block already. Yeah. Hold on, let me watch these guys.
Props all around.
Yeah.
So, Sean, if I understood John correctly, he was saying that he thinks that
Okay, shoulder back. This morning you swam it beautiful.
he thinks that this new rule for a backstroke finish may be morphed
I say let's go out for it a little bit harder.
in the butterfly events. Is that what he was saying?
Yeah, I just remember him saying that the interpretation of the being underwater could have a profound effect on different strokes. So we'll be very interested to see what transpires from that.
There you go.
All right, Leonard.
No surprises here,
Yeah.
Sean. No surprises.
Looks like our unofficial winner in that heat was Quentin Spencer. Top seed coming in, top finisher going out.
Go, Drews, go,
A final.
Ford Collins.
Oscar Gomez, fastest very own, lane 4, top qualifier. So Leonard, I am pleased to have a young lady behind us who's not
Nice.
only an amazing swimmer, she is the daughter of the genius to my right, Cornell, and she is the mastermind. We found out she is the mastermind of the Sean and Leonard coffee cup. Murray, first off, thank you very much. That was very kind of you.
Yeah, it's really fun to design things, so I was happy to make your cups.
Well, thank you very much. We're going to call this race here real quick, and we have a few more questions for you. It looks like our very own Oscar Gomez is the unofficial winner. Well, you definitely have an artistic background, and again, thank you very much. I wanted to ask you a little bit. I heard a rumor that you're actually a fan of the 200 fly. Is that correct?
Sometimes it depends on the day, because if you're in the mood for it, it's really fun. But if you're not in the mood for it, it can be the worst event ever.
The worst event. Well, Leonard and I were talking a lot about this swim meet, and our unofficial ranking was some of the most difficult and grueling events are the 200-meter fly and the 400 IM, which I believe you do both. And if you don't like it, it doesn't show because you do great at both of those. Tell us what type of mentality you need to have for those races.
You have to stay really positive, because if you're not, then it will just show in your event.
That's very insightful. Yeah, that makes sense that you have to stay positive for such a grueling event. Maybe that's why Leonard, when we swim, everything falls to you-know-what very quickly.
She exposed us. Now let me ask Mireille. Mireille, did your father persuade you to design this mug, or was it your own inspiration?
Well, it was kind of like a group thing. We wanted to make mugs, and then I just wanted to design it, but I didn't have the idea to make the mug.
Well, whether you made it or whether you designed it and facilitated the purchase of it, we are truly honored to have the Sean and Leonard official coffee cup, which should be going on sale at the Fast website for $99.99. All proceeds go directly to Sean and Leonard. We'll cut Murray a little bit. She'll get a $1 per mug. We have a deal?
Sure.
All right, $1 per mug. Thank you very much, Murray. We appreciate it. Great swimming this weekend.
Mireille, thank you so much for the mugs. Alrighty, take care.
All right, Leonard, we are on. Is this our final event of the evening? Is that correct?
It doesn't look like we're close.
No, we're not close.
We got the one
Oh,
fly.
I got the. Oh, geez.
We got the one fly,
Oh,
Sean.
man. I was turning the page, and I thought we were on. Wow.
We got the two back.
Holy schmoly. Well, we were running through all those facts, Leonard. We still had plenty of time.
Yeah, I still have some stuff left.
Oh, God.
It's not that good.
All right. Well, let's get one out of the way right now, Leonard. Let's bless our audience and with the Pittsburgh fun facts.
Come to think of it, Sean, I may be out of stuff.
Okay. Well, if you need it, I have a backup. Did you know, Leonard, Pittsburgh is within 500 miles of more than half of the population of the United States? Is it just like Epic is the epicenter of swimming in the state of Colorado? It sounds like Pittsburgh is at the epicenter of the United States.
Yeah, it's at the epicenter of the Rust Belt. No further comments.
Washington, D.C., watch out. There might be some people pushing for a new capital.
It's at the epicenter of the Rust Belt.
All right, Leonard. So we are officially now on the 200 backstroke. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Just want to make sure I didn't skip another page here. So our B final, Leonard, top qualifier, Kara Baker from HRA. And the time that we're looking out for in the 14 and under 200-meter backstroke would be a 2:44.49.
So, Sean, we're going to see some backstroke finishes right under our nose.
Yeah. Leonard, looking forward to this season, long course season. Is there anything you're particularly looking forward to? Any swim meets? Any swimmers in particular? Not from Pittsburgh, that is.
Well, Sean, this is a really good question. There is a big meet next week.
Yeah.
At Veterans Memorial Aquatic Center. And if I understand correctly, Sean, I think I have this right. The meet is CSI Colorado. And the name of the meet denotes the fact that there are not supposed to be any other meets, as I understand.
Oh.
No other meets in CSI Colorado next weekend.
Wow.
There probably
they
are
put the
a few.
lockdown.
Yeah. But all of the top swimmers are supposed to be there next week.
All right.
It doesn't mean that the meet is going to be any faster than what we saw this weekend. Oh, Sean, cruising into the finish.
All right, Kara. Was that Kara Baker, correct? Yep. Kara Baker. She looks pretty pumped. She looks happy. Smiling to family in the crowd.
Let's talk about the 13 and 14-year-olds in Colorado swimming, Sean, currently.
Yeah, let's do it.
The 200-meter back. The top swimmer in our committee goes with 2:25.85. She is unattached. As I understand, she must be in transition between teams.
Yeah.
And I don't know from which state she comes. She's 13, Sean.
Yowzers.
And the second place time in the state, Quinn Sunji, also 13. She goes a 2:30.66.
All right, Leonard, we're on to the A final. And I couldn't help but sneak a peek over. And there's a certain top qualifier in lane 4 who appears to be on this list from Team Vortex.
Cody Monayem. She's currently 4th in CSI Colorado with a time of 2:34.24, and we need to see, Sean, whether she can creep into the top 3.
Yeah.
There's Annabeth Town from Highlands Ranch.
Yeah.
She's currently number 3. It goes to show,
Yeah.
Sean, how fast this meet has been.
Yeah, we've had some top-notch swimmers here, and it's been a pleasure to watch. Well, it looks like Cody, she's taken command of this event, Leonard.
Her stroke is so smooth, Sean.
Yeah.
The head position is rock solid. And in fact, all of these swimmers, she just is so smooth over the water. She's got another 100 meters left, but she's in command.
Yeah. Aaliyah Sloan, actually not too far behind.
Now, Sean, as long as we're talking about backstroke and breakouts, tell our audience the significance of that red circle on the lane line.
Yeah, that red circle on the lane line is the 15-meter mark, and you are not allowed to go beyond the 15-meter mark in backstroke, underwater that is, on the start, or on the turns.
So, Sean, if I understand correctly, when these swimmers streamline on their breakout, right, their hands are high. If those hands break out past the 15-meter mark, the swimmer can be DQ'd.
Yes, it is possible. I'm pretty sure in the big meets they probably have the officials at the 15-meter mark. I don't see any there right now, nor am I encouraging them to be there. But, yes, that is accurate. And, Leonard, it looks like Cody's going to – we got a clear 1 and 2 here with Cody and Aaliyah.
Let's see if she beats that. She's going to beat that 2:34 with ease.
For sure.
Wow. 2:30.85.
Great swim. So, Leonard, I just want to make a comment. You talked about how fantastic the backstroke technique has been with all of these girls and that their head's not moving. One of the things I always enjoyed watching in practices, and I'm sure every parent can relate, is sometimes when you're practicing that backstroke, those coaches will be putting objects on your forehead.
Yeah.
Sometimes like cups with water in it. I've seen pennies, possibly nickels and quarters, although, I'm sure coaches don't get too much, so I'm going to assume it's pennies. But various objects on the forehead with the focus of keeping that head back and straight. And you can see it paid off there because every single one of those girls, I don't think their head moved.
I don't know how they do it, Sean.
All right, Leonard,
I
we're
would
on.
I would have to strap it under my goggles to get that right.
So, Leonard, we are on the B final, the girls 15 and over. 100 backstroke, our top qualifier in lane 4 is Sophia Ruskin. And for those keeping track at home, the state cut for this event. Let's see, where are we at? The 200 back. Sorry. I'm running out of gas here, Leonard. I really am. The 200 backstroke cut is 2:40.49. Sorry, Leonard.
No problem.
It only took me 30 seconds to notice that, which was right in front of me.
Again, Sean. As smooth as syrup over the water. Is that lane 4?
Yes, lane 4 is in the lead. She's got about a body length and a half lead going into the turn.
We haven't talked a lot about the splits, Sean.
Yeah.
It's something that requires a lot of research into the individual swimmer, but that split was a 119.31 in essence for a 100 back. Learning backstroke takes a lot of discipline. Sean,
and what else, Leonard? We've heard this repeatedly. I think we had 2 or 3 coaches reference what about backstroke.
The kick.
Yeah, the legs, the burning of. I think we even heard the words burning.
Yes.
Legs in the 200 backstroke.
And if I'm not mistaken, Sean, you're the swimmer, not I.
Well.
However, if I'm not mistaken, Sean, that kick is supposed to be generated from the hips.
Yeah.
Starts at the hips. This stroke is so smooth, Sean.
Unfortunately for me, Leonard, it starts at the hip, but the pain stops at the knees.
Yeah. Oh, my, Sean. This young lady is in command.
Yeah, Sophia Ruskin.
Nice.
Yeah.
She
great.
goes at 2:42.50.
I'm pretty sure she'll be making that cut before the end of the season, no doubt.
Another distinguished club team from the Springs. Now we're going to go. This is the A final. Am I correct, Sean?
Yep. And that name that we've heard a handful of times, Carolyn Bricker, PPA. Leonard, I'm going to go on a limb here. I'm going to call this a victory before it starts. I know it's hard to fathom that the number 1 ranked swimmer in the state of Colorado would be a favorite in event. But I'm going out on a limb and saying she will win. I'm going Joe Namath. We will win.
Yeah. There's another
Pittsburgh.
Oh, another Pittsburgh reference, Sean.
And that was an accidental one. Jeez. I think I made up for the last 2 evenings, Leonard. Have I not?
Yes.
I'm looking forward to my honorary black and gold shirt by the end of this meet.
You deserve it.
Thank you.
Once they start winning. Might be a while.
Yeah, I was going to say. You know, Leonard, another thing that I'm just really impressed with, it is almost 7:40 on a Sunday. Now, I know a lot of these young athletes, maybe some of the teenagers have jobs, but, they're on summer break. But a lot of these parents, they got to report to work tomorrow. So let's give a big round of applause for the parents from these club teams, especially those from the Springs area, Denver, up in Wyoming. I mean, they're traveling. They've been here for 3 days, and they're traveling up, and now they have to travel back. So kudos to you parents. High fives all around. I know that means a lot coming from Leonard and myself. We are with you.
How about that? I never thought about that, Sean. These swimmers from the Springs, the Pikes Peak club team, they look forward to watching their swimmer in finals, and the long road home is no deterrent.
No.
The long road home is no deterrent, and it is a long road. Caroline Bricker, the 18-year-old, I noticed, Sean, that she seems to have increased the rate steadily.
And Leonard, thank goodness for Google. Carolyn Bricker committed to Stanford.
Whoa.
Yowzers.
Whoa. Sean, that's a major scoop.
Yeah.
That's something we would be embarrassed. We would be embarrassed if we didn't include that in our live
That
feed.
is definitely breaking news from June 27th in 2022, Leonard.
She's number 16, Sean,
Yeah.
nationally. Oh, wow.
That's according to SwimSwam. I'm sure there's a lot of different statistics. And again, this article that I just pulled up was from last year, so hopefully she hasn't decommitted and is going to some other college. But according to Swim Swam, that's where she's going, and it's evident by her performance and the results that we've seen. All right, Leonard, we're on to the 13 and over, 14 and under, 200-meter backstroke. Looks like our top seed in this B final is Connor Camellia from HRA.
Tom. No, not Tom.
No, I've
Sean.
been called worse.
Sean, the top time in CSI Colorado, 13 and 14-year-old boys, 200 meters backstroke belongs to Oscar Plotnick of the University of Denver Hilltoppers. He goes a 2:21.98. That's fast. According to the rankings I see here, Sean, he's roughly 6 seconds faster than his nearest competitor. I see the name of Lincoln Hoffman on the list, Sean,
Yeah,
of fast.
We've said his name a handful of times.
He's number 5 in the state with a time of 2:30.24. And as long as we're giving shout-outs, Sean Anders Koshman. He's only 13, Sean. A time of 2:28.87 in this event. That was back at the beginning of May. And his mother, as we've stated numerous times, is the head coach, founder and head coach of the Riptide Swim Club out of the Boulder area that took roughly about 6 swimmers to this meet. And next weekend at CSI Colorado, Sean, we'll be hearing a lot of the Riptide Swim Club. Great club. And Jen Koshman, the head coach, she should be so proud not only of her sons, who are 2 dynamite swimmers, but also of her entire team. We'll hear more about them next weekend.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Coach Doug.
Well, Leonard, we have a little race on our hands here.
Down the stretch.
Yeah.
No wonder the fast coaches are so animated. They're rooting for Cole Ramirez, who spoke to us last night.
Yeah.
He went 2:50.59 this morning. Nice.
Way to go, Cole.
He goes to 2:45.22.
And the state cut for this event and this age group is 2:39.79. I know Cole nailed the backstroke last night. He was pumped about that. A little bit short on the 200, but his trajectory's on the upwards. I'm pretty sure we'll be seeing him make those cuts soon. All right, Leonard, we're getting ready for our A final. Oh, Leonard, I could be incorrect again. Even though this information is right in front of me. I think we only had 1 heat of the boys 13 and 14. Now we're going to 15 and over. Is that correct, Leonard?
Yes.
All
and
right.
it's a good thing you said so,
Yeah.
Sean.
Taylor Wagner, our number 1 seed in this final.
The championship final of the boys 15 and over 200-meter backstroke. Lead 2, CS McMillan, place 3, Elias Lane 4, Taylor Wagner.
Leonard, we do have one more, and this will be the last one. We do have one more response from our June Bonanza survey. And again, thank you to all the coaches who took the time to respond to this survey and provide us just some nice information about yourself and some great 80s name dropping, you know?
Indeed.
Yeah, or product dropping, or whatever you want to call it. So our final coach here, last but not least, Emily Altier from the Colorado Athletic Club Stingrays. as we talked about them earlier when I believe you and I were getting them confused with CAC, CCCCA, all those teams.
Shame on me,
Yes,
Sean.
it's all right. I think she will forgive us. She trains all the groups and all ages, so she's just like everywhere. Alrighty. If she was not coaching swimming and could coach any other sport, she would be coaching the U.S. women's national team for soccer, or as my family from Italia likes to call it, football.
Football. That's an international word.
Yes, international sport. Those professional athletes are out of this world. I think we can concur with her that they, in fact, are. And I believe the Women's World Cup is going to be... Is it going to be this summer? No. It's coming up soon. I'm sorry for not knowing that offhand. I should, as a huge follower of, not Pittsburgh,
Yes.
but Liverpool Football Club.
Yeah.
You never walk alone, Leonard. Sorry.
You got it.
All right. Now, when we asked her what her favorite event was as a swimmer, or least favorite event, she says favorite event was the 5 free. I think that's another. Yeah. We've heard that a handful of times. These coaches like the distance. Least favorite would be the 200 back long course. That event never seems to end.
We're watching it.
Yeah. I think these swimmers can attest, Coach. So it looks like our runaway winner, Leonard, here. Again, Taylor Wagner from PPA. Fantastic time. 2:16.25.
And I would imagine Sean, he's 18 years old. He may be headed to a Division I program himself.
I would fathom so.
Something we could ask we need to remember if we see one of the PPA coaches to ask that question.
Yeah, that might be a good survey question next time, Coach, to maybe do some shout-outs to some of the departing seniors and see what universities they're going to, or, maybe some individuals choose not to continue with their swimming career. But either way, it's great to see these competitors in the pool, and we wish them all the best in the future. So let's get back to Coach Emily from the Stingrays. When we asked, when we shared with her that FAST is celebrating our 40th anniversary, name a few things from that era. She's a youngin', Leonard. Being a younger coach who wasn't born yet, I like that. She has time on her side. She can't confidently answer, but I do enjoy some music from the 80s.
And that was a response from last night, was it not?
Yeah.
The 80s pop.
Yes, so I believe that's now, I think that 2 or 3 of the coaches had acknowledged that they were a little too young to answer this question, and at least 2 or 3 of them referenced the music. So they must have done something right. Well, we referenced Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
We referenced the Police.
Madonna.
I mean, the list goes on and on. Oingo Boingo?
Yeah. Can't remember the tune, but I remember the band.
And let's not forget some of the classics like Guns N' Roses.
Yeah.
Metallica, some of the heavier bands, some of the Run DMC, rap.
Sean, you're really scooping me.
Oh, yeah. All right, Leonard. This is our first and last event of the girls 10 and under 100-meter butterfly. Our top qualifier in lane 4 is June Trinidad. And again, Leonard, I think we need to give some props. Again, these are 10 and under girls. I see 2 9-year-olds. Sophia Strigel, we mentioned the Strigels. I believe there's an army of Strigels. Kudos to these young girls for letting it rip on the 100 fly. I think my arms would fall off by the 25-meter mark.
Look at this 10-year-old.
Yeah, I'm sorry. June Trinidad was our top qualifier, but Iris Town, again. The cheesy statement. She went to town yet again.
Get out of town.
Get out of town, Iris. I think some of her competitors would be glad to see Iris get out of town because she's been rocking.
For a young lady of only 10 years old, Sean, she is remarkably fast in butterfly, and how she gets her arms so comfortably over the water.
Yeah.
something that a lot of 10-year-olds really struggle with. We need to keep an eye on her.
Yeah, definitely. We need to keep an eye on lane 4 here. Bo Striegel. Again, the Striegel Army from PPA, age 9, top seed. Let's see what these guys got. You know it's a Sunday night, Leonard, when you see some of the younger swimmers with their pajamas.
Yeah.
I love it.
The poor parents are the ones assigned with the task of staying up until midnight.
Yeah, the taxi service is going to be leaving here in about 30 minutes.
And Sean, we should recognize the many parents and some swimmers who are timing for this event. A lot of them, there's the old assignment of meet credits.
Leonard, we have a competition here,
Yeah.
and it appears, if I'm reading this correctly, this is Tate in lane 7 and Bo in lane 4.
Is that the reason why?
Oh, that's why they're looking at.
Tate is
Sibling rivalry.
Tate takes the breath and turns his head to the left.
Wow. The Striegel Army 1 and 2.
The parents must be quite proud.
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, Sean, Tate was breathing. The 9-year-old Tate was breathing and looking to the left at Bo in lane 4. Am I correct?
I believe so. I mean, they're siblings. They got to see where they're. Their coaches are always going to say, don't look. Keep your head straight, go forward. But when it's your brother, how can you not, Leonard?
Yeah.
I mean, this is bragging rights. These guys have to drive home with each other. I just hope these two young gentlemen both give each other a hug for a great swim. Leave the sibling rivalry in the pool.
I see that some of the parents have already started to tear down, Sean.
Oh.
It means I might be getting the hook any second now. Someone's going to come through and take away my chair.
Wow. So, Leonard, this is the B final. Girls 11-12, 100-meter fly. The cut that we're looking for is 128.49. Let's keep an eye out on that clock.
So, Sean, parents time, for example, to accumulate meet credits, but many of these parents who have been timing at this event Friday, Saturday, today, many of them, Sean, were timing not for meet credits, but simply because positions had not been filled.
Absolutely.
And then they wanted to make sure that the event went ahead smoothly. So kudos to all those parents who are here not for meet credits. They already have the necessary credits. They're here to make sure that the meet goes forward smoothly.
Yes, we couldn't do it without you. Double kudos. So, Leonard, looks like lane 4 is our unofficial winner. That's Caden Frisch from PPA.
Sean, are you stretching your legs?
Yes, Leonard.
Why didn't you forewarn me?
Well, these swimmers have the courtesy of having lane 10 as a warm-up or a warm-down pool. Leonard, there's no warm-up area or warm-down area for us commentators, so let's take a little stretch break here. How about that? All right, Leonard, we got the A finals of the girls 11 and 12. Looks like our top qualifier for this is Addie Hobbs. from
Sean-
PPA.
Sean, I don't want to say I'm mentally exhausted, but I couldn't figure out how to get the microphone out of the pincher. Just figured it out. Move towards self.
Yes.
Sean, as I'm standing on my feet with this microphone, I feel as though I should be singing karaoke.
Oh, let's please not do that.
Maybe we should have been doing this all along.
Yeah, I feel great now.
I do.
I feel like I have a second wind. Looks like these girls have a second wind too. Cranking out the last 15 meters. Looks like our leader, Addie Hobbs.
Yeah. She has not disappointed this weekend, Sean.
No.
She goes a 1:10.67. That's nearly 2 seconds of improvement upon her seed time from prelims.
Yeah, and I think Murray did a great time over in lane 2. I saw her dad with the fist pump.
Yeah.
I heard the classic Doug, yeah! So that means something good happened.
If any coach can be heard when the swimmer takes a breath, it's Coach Doug.
All right, Leonard. We're on to the boys, 11 and 12. B final, top time, Nolan King from PPA. So, Leonard, what do you think? Do you think a lot of these swimmers are going to be given a day off after a 3-day meet?
Definitely.
I would say well-deserved.
Especially, Sean, with the rigor of prelims finals.
Yeah.
That's the real reason. When they're swimming prelims and finals over at least 2 days, depending upon the age group. Yes, I'm sure they're going to get a much-needed break from their coaches.
Yeah. Well, looks like our unofficial winner will be lane 5, Owen Dean, followed by the king, Nolan King. Great swim, guys. You could see they were really struggling on that last 15 meters, but again, to the novice, you have to respect that these guys have put in the mileage, the yardage. They're literally running on empty.
They have to be sore.
I'm sore from just sitting.
Yeah.
I mean, geez. My throat, my lower back, my knees. All right. Enough complaining. Leonard, A final. Top qualifier. We've said this name before. Mr. Oscar Gomez from Fast.
Yes, he's had a great weekend. Sean, as I turn around and look behind me, I see these bleachers are still pretty well populated by parents and swimmers.
Yeah.
They're not going home.
No. They couldn't go home if they would want to. Yeah, we still have a very nice crowd here. An enthusiastic crowd, I must say.
They may not be as animated as they were at 4:30.
Well, certainly understandable. Hey, you got to remember, they didn't get to participate in the balloon battle and popsicle
You got it.
fest that occurred before this meet. So I can understand why they're running a little lower on gas maybe than their
Oscar,
children. Yeah, Oscar looks like he's going to
He's
going to pull away with the win on this one.
he's not giving it up.
Leonard. Speaking of 80s, I'm sure this had to have been an 80s song. You just said, not going to give it up. I'm never going to give you up. Never going to say goodbye. Let's go, Leonard.
Never gonna run
Around
around
and
and
desert
desert
you.
you.
I don't know when that song was, but that has to be an 80s song.
I would
If
imagine
any-
so.
If anything, early 90s.
Now, do you remember the name of the performer?
Rick Astley?
Astley. Rick
Yeah.
Astley. And if I understand correctly, Sean, working with middle school students, this tune somehow
I
made a
know.
resurgence.
I know. Isn't that amazing? I'm just glad you didn't say Rick Astley from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. All right, Leonard. We're on to the B final of the girls, 13 and over, 100-meter butterfly. The time that we will be looking out for in this event would be a 1:14.89. That is the state cut for the state of Colorado. Again, want to be clear to our Wyoming viewers.
Annabeth Town of Highlands Ranch Aquatics, Sean.
Yeah.
That talented 14-year-old. She has the top time in the state of 106.83. That is fast. How about Abby Lemkuehler, Coach Ann?
Yeah.
That 14-year-old, she's 10th in the state. She goes a 110.67.
Whew.
Sean, we're consistently referring to swimmers in this meet who
Yeah.
are tops in the state.
Yeah.
It gives you some idea of how competitive this meet has been.
Well, I'll tell you what's competitive. Look ahead, Leonard. We got a nice battle here for first and
Yes.
second. Digging deep.
Wow.
You know those muscles are hurting. The lungs are burning. Leonard, it is a photo finish.
Boom, boom, boom.
Oh, boy. Great finish, ladies. Lane 4 ekes out the victory.
Taylor Alexander,
Yeah,
am I correct?
I believe so.
Props.
Followed by Emery Mears.
Yes, and she had a great swim also.
Yeah,
Two great swims.
And Claire Dietz from Fast just gets a major way to go from her coach, Mac.
Coach Doug acknowledges that's a tough, a one fly at the end of a long weekend of prelims and finals. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah. You know what I did when I was an age group swimmer? That'd be the perfect time to go to the bathroom right before that event. Whoops, I missed it. Sometimes you just,
Yeah, or just come running out of the bathroom onto the bulkhead.
No, Leonard, you're not getting the point. I would try to skirt that and not have to swim.
Yeah, exactly. No show.
It's kind of like on the golf course when you start saying, my ankle hurts. I'm like, come on, Leonard.
I don't need to use the ankle as an excuse.
Well, Leonard, looks like lane 4 is out in a very strong lead. Is that Aaliyah Stone? Is that correct? Yes. We mentioned her name a handful of times.
Yes,
It's me. Yeah.
Leia Sloan.
Oh, did I say
Whatever. You're probably right.
Sloan? No, I think I said Stone. Great swim, 108.67.
We can hear the meet announcer.
Yeah. And a proud parent. He's pumped.
Is he over the balcony?
It has to be a proud papa. Yeah. What did we say? That these parents are still into it, Leonard?
Heat 3. We now go to the 15 and overs. Our top seed is Bethany Slivka, 18-year-old with Pikes Peak Aquatics.
And Leonard, we have some unfortunate news. Our side camera that's been following these amazing swimmers up and down this event, the battery has died.
Uh-oh.
So our production value is usually 5-star, and then you factor in Leonard and myself, it goes down to a 4-star. But without this camera, we're back with the basics. We're down to a 1-star possibly.
I'm happy to run up and down the deck, Sean. And give,
So nothing personal, parents out there, family members watching from all around the world. We're not trying to shortchange your swimmer, but the battery is dead. But I tell you what is not dead, lane 4 and lane 5. Great swim. Actually, great swim all of the ladies, but lane 4 and lane 5, Leonard.
Bethany Slivka and Ivy Ladro. Am I correct? Teammates.
Yes. Yeah.
Teammates on the Pikes Peak team. This is a final.
Top qualifier, Lily Larson, also from Pikes Peak. It must be interesting, their practices, having battles when you see them going, I don't know, 4, 5, 6. I'm sure there's more swimmers. I probably can't even calculate all, but all together being very close in all these events. That must be a real benefit when you're grinding it out in the pool day by day, going against some of the top competitors in the States that, just so happen to be your friends and in the same lane. Go figure. Go figure why we see these results, Leonard.
That's right. And when they race or when they swim in practice, they know that the teammate behind them is pushing.
Yes. And looks like lane 3 is pushing right now, the lead.
Mia Waldron? No. Yes.
Yeah, from Vortex.
Boom.
And the champion at lane 3, that's Mia Waldron of Vortex, with an unofficial time of 1:05.6.
All right, Leonard.
13-14 boys, good final.
Leonard, we are both not blessed with great vision. But correct me if I'm wrong. We have now turned the page.
Oh, my goodness.
This is the last event of the evening. We're going to have the boys 14 and under and 15 and over, 100-meter fly. Then we're calling it a day.
Sean, the best time in CSI Colorado in this event belongs to none other than our very own Lincoln Hoffman of Fast. The 14-year-old goes a 1:01.48, and that is fast.
Leonard, we have a special guest here for you.
What's going on, Leonard?
What's going on, Leonard? It is the one and only Giacomo Peters.
The proud papa is with me.
He hears the, what's going on, Leonard? He even says that in our house.
You're kidding.
No, I kid you not. We're big fans of Leonard and his awesome wife and son, Tatiana and Danny.
Great swims this weekend, Giacomo. Great swims. We didn't acknowledge Giacomo as often as we should have because we didn't want to.
We didn't want to be the homers, Leonard.
We didn't want to sound biased.
Yeah, I totally understand. Well, we maintain our professionalism during this whole meet.
Riker Schubert goes at 1:27.28.
All right, Leonard, our A final in 13-14 is Carson King. That's another. We've had a few Kings. I wonder if they're related. I guess that's another interesting thing if you think about it, Leonard. In what sports can you go to a competition or a tournament per se and hear the last names, siblings in multiple different age groups? You don't really have that in a lot of different sports.
No, you do not.
Yeah.
That's the individual flavor of the sport.
Yeah. Well, Leonard, again, before we depart here, I just want to say it has been an absolute pleasure. This is the highlight of my weekend.
You got to be kidding, Sean.
Well,
working with me, I mean.
Well, yeah. If Milan would have beaten Man City in the Champions League final, that would have been the highlight of my weekend, but unfortunately that didn't happen. So you just got bumped up to number 1, Leonard. But
I appreciate it,
yeah.
Sean. You're making me feel better. Carson King
Yeah,
of Pikes Peak Aquatics
will be crowned the king of this event.
Sean, look at these swimmers after a grueling
Yeah.
weekend. 3-day meets. Prelims and finals.
Yeah.
Look at these swimmers dig for the dig for the wall. The tenacity and the focus are unbelievable. You talk about determination.
Yeah.
We've
Like I said, unlike me, who would probably be hiding in the bathroom right now when I was this age, these guys are stepping up. These guys and these gals are stepping up. They're not hiding. Leonard,
15 and over.
B final.
Caleb Wirtz is our top qualifier in this heat. Sean Peters, I'm prepared for the worst when I open my email tomorrow morning. If the email from Cornell begins with,
We need to talk.
no, I was thinking of that what do I want to say, stock line. Thank you. Thank you for your dedicated service over the weekend.
But we will no longer be
Yeah, then the next line begins with something like, in an effort to add variety to our broadcast, I'm prepared for the worst, Sean. It won't be the first time, Sean. It won't be.
all too familiar with those emails, huh, Leonard?
Sean, if I'm terminated...
We know you're a senior, Leonard, but you've been demoted to JV. Sorry. Leonard, photo finish.
Teammates?
Look at this. Yeah.
Teammates.
Caleb and Eli going at it. Looks like Eli in lane 5. Eli Paris is just snipped out his buddy. And again, Leonard, you see the arm out, the extension, the pound. I think the older kids like to do the pound versus the handshakes and the high fives. Am I perceiving that correctly?
Yes.
All right, Leonard, here it is. Drum roll.
Last heat for Sean. Our audience is waving the white flag.
Yes. But before we end this, again, let's give major thanks to the man, the myth, the legend to our right, Cornell Gazzuro, for this broadcast. As Leonard calls it, the
Envy
envy
of Colorado swimming. And Sean,
and Jeremy Thornton too, again.
Yes.
Jeremy, the mastermind behind some of the technical aspects of what you're seeing. And
Sure.
Leonard, we got a race on our hands here. Look at these guys.
Look at these swimmers dig.
Lane 5 it appears
Eli Hobson. He might go under a minute, Sean. All right. Somebody's going to go under a minute, Sean.
Oh, I think we're going to see more than one
Boom!
person.
57.98.
And a 59.50.
Two swimmers under a minute in a one fly, 100-meter fly. That says something about the level of competition and determination we've seen this weekend, Sean.
All right, Leonard. One final thing before we wrap up here. We got to also, again, recognize our wonderful sponsors, Associates in Family Medicine, Professional Document Solution, Speed Pro, Assured Flow Systems, Mixterior Roofings, and MI Sports. Any parting words of wisdom? Anything that you want to state, Leonard?
As I see these swimmers cooling down, is that what it's called, Sean?
Yeah.
Cooling down, not after just this event, but a grueling weekend of prelims and finals, a 3-day meet. Sean, props to these swimmers.
Props to these swimmers, and I imagine there's many parents watching online that are cooling down and are going to be very glad to turn off this event and to not hear our lovely voices for the foreseeable future.
I apologize in advance.
So thank you, everybody. This concludes the June Bonanza, and we look forward to seeing you in the future. And again, congratulations to all the swimmers and all the coaches for a fantastic meet.
I hope I get the chance to work with you again, Sean, and that's a serious one.
All right, Leonard.
You take it easy.
Have a wonderful evening.
Take care, kid.